big and then small on the corners, but I guess that's a preference.
Yep. How's the cars feel with the lower tire pressure?
Feels better on the low speed, but not as good on the high speed.
Okay, so we'll leave them where they are.
Yeah.
Just leave them where they are.
Although, the only thing I'm curious, is there a pressure difference between left and right? There.
Alright, whenever you want to go out. Put the snapback up. Drop it down. Test. Aha, motherfuckers. All right. All right. Well, I now have speakers and I now have fucking microphones, so that's all I need. Fucking Windows, cocksucking sons of bitches, motherfuckers. All right, let me get back to what I was fucking doing here. What the fuck was I anyway? Okay, if I know. All right. Now that crisis is averted. So what happened was last night when I shut down my computer, it did a automatic update instead of just shutting down. I came in minutes before the show. I've been out all day. It says it's updated. I'm like, well, fuck me. It would probably be okay. But then nothing fucking worked. I didn't have audio. I still don't have audio. I don't know that I have audio. Let me see if I have. Well, I don't know. I'm just going to leave that shit alone. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. It's fucked up start, but it'll be all right. We're going to have fun. Let me see who's here and who is fucking left because it's boring as fuck. James S. Yes, I knew there was no sound. It was a big ass cocksucking moment there. All right, let me roll back here to the start. I believe chairman of the board was first in the chat, and he was interrupted by Ticky Tack and Erikar Oak. Emmett came in. That was cool. I know some of these guys have dipped in and out because they've got other things to do tonight. I also had other things to do today. I've been up since 4:30, so I may not last the entire night. We will see. But nothing like getting really fucking pissed off at your technology to wake you right up. Anyway, Agrillipus showed up and showed out. Good to see you. Kissy Cat is in the chat. I thought we were going to miss her tonight. Hopefully she hangs around. I like her. She's okay. Midnight Newton, yes and no. We got the mic kind of fixed. We'll see. Damien, what is up? Good to see you, sir. Vengeful Truther, TVT in the house. Logical Spark, good to see you. Good to see you. Absolutely. SD Guy 64, good to see you. Lord of Pies made it in here along with Smoking Spaceman. Fucking A. Glenn Lawrence was out there in the chat talking shit. That's okay. He'll be up here talking shit soon enough. I'm not going to fucking headphones and sound like you all robot-y and shit. I'm not doing it. So yes, we knew that James S. Yes, absolutely. There was no sound, and it was all due to the update. Like my microphone didn't even exist in my drop-down menus. It for whatever reason when it reset everything and updated, it just ignored all of the fucking software. What's up, 10th man? Good to see you. Observer 01, good to see you. I can't use sign language. I'm not deaf. Weird. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, it's funny when it happens to me, but I'm gonna yeah. Mr. Mystery, it was not a wire, it was a software issue, and once I rebooted fucking everything, it finally worked, which is always awesome. Glare 1%ers up in the house. Good to see you, sir. The sound of silence does soothe all. I see Felix up in here. Good to see you. I'm not familiar with you. Maybe you're new. My Temu mic. I don't use Temu, bro. Not for microphones, anyway. I did have to do a hard restart on my computer. That solved some of the problems, but not all of them. And I hate doing that because coming back into the platform is always really fucking weird. Silvar Ogre is in the house. Good to see you. It might have been a fucking. I would have gone to bed if we didn't fix it in the next 4 minutes. I was just going to go to bed. I've been up again since 4 o'clock. I did restart the computer. That's what I did that. But it's always a pain in the ass. I really, really hate the updates because it just fucks everything up. Mikey Balls is out there. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Yay is right. We got it. It was awesome. I'm not a genius. I'll just keep fucking with it until it does what I want it to do. That's how I got married in the first place. Viking Paradigm is out there. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Whew. I'm almost calmed back down. Naomi in the house. Reach over and smack Mikey on the back of the head. He deserves it. I promise you. I promise you he does. Cleaner 409 is up in the house. I don't know who that is. I thought it was Cleaner 405, but 409, we got you. We're there. What's with the Charlie Chapman impersonation? El Cheapo Dago, what is up, sir? Zex Marquise, I'm not familiar with you either, but welcome to the channel, sir. We'll learn all about you later, I'm sure. That was a troll, and he couldn't resist. Excellent, very good, everyone. Yeah, it may have just been it was just fucking with everything until the software update went through. Who knows? Fuck it, doesn't matter. I got it now. That's all that matters. Ticky Tack, are you peacing out? Don't do that. Seth Spence is up in the house. What is up, Seth Spence? He says, what is up, everyone? Everyone let Seth Spence know what is up. Woo-saw, motherfuckers. Woo-saw. Anyway, I have, as I said earlier, been up since 4:30 this morning. My son had a shooting event. And we went and did that. Drove a couple hours over there. So we had a lot of stuff going on today. I am tired as fuck. We'll see. One of my dapper hats. I got my dapper hat. Sorry, I'm in my full on, like, you know, I'm in the full uniform regalia. I'm in the regalia. I'm sorry. You know, I'm a sports dad. Where's my dapper hat? I got dapper hat over here. Stand by, Naomi. Stand by. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have some fun tonight. Woo-saw, motherfuckers. That's right. Woo-saw. All right. Where was I? Well, I'm trying to get Pentuple to drop by so that because Pentuple and I are debating in a couple of days. We're going to be debating the Doge against a couple of leftists. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm trying to get him to drop in. I hadn't heard back, or maybe I haven't. I just hadn't seen it. It'll be fine. But I literally was closing I was closing windows left and fucking right. So, you know, trying to get this shit working. So yeah. Anyway, sorry, everyone is going that is loud. Agrillipus starts the night out right.
Agrillipus donated $50. Super chat. Grift.
Grift is right. Damn, son, coming in hardcore right out of the gate. Boom. That's what's up. Woo-saw was from Bad Boys. Martin Lawrence. Woo-saw. Woo-saw. It's from his therapist. Bad Boys 2. That's what that was from. Anyway. You guys are going to get some memberships. That's what's up. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Naomi says she's a loser, but here's her $10. Naomi, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you as well, Agrillipus. You were ever so generous. We're going to do a different format when we get into the debate round, which will probably start a little early if nobody shows up to chat for a few minutes. I've sent out links just fucking all over the place. I'm trying to get my boy to come over. I'm trying to get my boy to come over who he was having he was having a day earlier. And I'm going to try and get him to talk about it, but we'll see we'll see what happens. Yeah, it's gonna be good. We are down a judge tonight. Tiki Tack cannot be here. He cannot judge. He has things going on. He has a personal and private life. So. I also heard that I heard that there was another stream that went all hours of the night last night, but I don't know anything about it because I'm to bed. I blew it last time, Grid. I couldn't save the updated debate menu. I got you, bro. Stand by. I got you. I'm changing things up a little bit. Hang on, I got to pull that back up. I don't know. Do I still have it? I think I do. Let me check it out here. So, guys, what we're doing tonight is we're going to change the format of the debate. And it's going to be it's going to be more of like a we're going to be on a clock. And we're going to see how that works. I'm going to figure this out. I'm still working it out here, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. All right. So anyway, so I get a message from my Facebook this morning that my buddy has posted. He hadn't posted in a while. It's one of those dudes who just never posts. So when he does post, Facebook is like, "Hey, your old buddy hasn't posted in a while. You know, here he is. Go see what he has to say." All right, cool. See what he has to say. And what he had to say was that that there's a podcaster that does kind of high tech race car aero and suspension and basically all of the components of making fast cars go faster. And this guy does a podcast on that, and he's had all of these other aero specialists and manufacturers come on the show, except my buddy. And my buddy's like, honestly, he's like number one in the club race community as far as aero work goes. And he's had all of his competitors on and everything like that. And the guy's like, I just, I didn't know if you were like making stuff up or intentionally, whatever. It was just it was an interesting way that that this guy represented why he had not brought this guy on his show. And he was reaching out back and forth. And I'm like, hey, you can come on my show. You can talk a lot of shit. And as a matter of fact, well, I'll help you set up a debate and find out why this guy sucks so bad. And all right, well, I could do that. Let me. I'm going to go to Pentel. We'll get into the debate mode portion of this. Let me see if Pentuple drops me a link. Anyway, so Johnny, got one already. I got to join a server though. Stand by. So my buddy, his name's Johnny, and he does, like I said, he does aero parts and aero development for mostly club race cars. He works with high end pro cars too, but he does a lot of club race stuff, and he just can't figure this out. And I'm like, dude, come on my my show, and we'll set this up. And it would be hilarious to have a bunch of high thinking, like, super engineering types on here talking about why they think that Johnny makes up the data that he does for his aero. But That's right. If you're talking arrow, you only have two choices: you suck or you blow. They suck. That's all it is. So, okay. But yeah, so hopefully, I'm trying to get him to come on tonight just to chat for a few minutes. He may be, secretly watching the chat to see how bad it is, but especially after my little blow up, he may not come up because I was pretty pissed at my super awesome computer here. All right, let me see what's going on here. There we go. In the waiting room. Oh, it's gonna be a Discord thing. Oh man, I hate this Discord thing. Oh, it sucks. All right. Calm down. Here we go. In the waiting room. Where the fucking waiting room at? In the waiting room. What's up? Why can't I hear them? I do not have them muted. I don't have sound. Fucking Discord now too. Son of a bitch. I have to go to my settings because Microsoft went full soft. You know what I mean. Let's see. Wait, let's see. There we go. I got sound. Is my mic working now? Cool.
Actions being implemented universally across like the political aisles.
Yeah, and so that's what I've been telling you guys about JD Vance is like, JD Vance has this ideology of being like a middle class Republican that likes big government. Trump just likes good poll numbers. He has no ideology. He doesn't care if he has big government, small government, whatever's going to get him the good poll numbers. That's what Trump cares about. JD Vance has a Peter Navarro ideology backing him that he wants to become more of a European style large government Republican that deals in helping the people more and winning over those low propensity but come out really big on general election type of voters. So yeah, he's right. You're going to start seeing more big government republicanism, less talk about cutting the budgets and shit. I think that might move to the left.
Less talk about cutting the budget.
Yeah. You're gonna see less of
Doge?
Isn't that Doge?
okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Which, by the way, what a perfect fucking segue.
Didn't Barack Obama have Doge before? Yeah, okay.
No,
And
before
Yeah, he
Doge.
created the Doge.
True. Yeah, we have clips of him describing Doge to a T.
That's what I told
basically.
you all. I voted for Barack Obama in 2008 solely because of the fact that he said he was going to get a lot of the troops out of conflicts where everyone's coming home. Guess what? I joined the military in 2011. Now I'm addicted to gay porn. Thanks, Barack Obama.
I
There's
was
one
addicted to
lie
gay
in that
porn before I
statement.
joined the military.
And it was 2012. No, I'm just kidding.
I've never been in the military.
But shit, like a lot of shit that's been happening recently, not new.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not new.
absolutely.
But
You're
on that,
100% right.
sorry, my bad.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Pentuple. It's your guy.
I was gonna do the whole little segue and getting Grid up in here. Welcome, Grid, to the freestyle panel. There's no plans here. We just stream. That's the only thing here is that there's panelists, I guess. But Grid and I are doing a debate on Monday
About Doge.
about Doge.
Doge?
Yeah, and it's on
Oh, shit.
Raging Tomatoes platform. I think
I'm gonna be
she's
there
the
watching
host,
that.
right?
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. It'll be on Monday.
Or
And I
listening.
thought,
I'll probably have to listen.
oh hell yeah, it'll be fun. We'll definitely
But I'll
we'll all be
listen.
live and stuff. But I have sort of like outline that I'm gonna just go through real quick for Grid of how I'm preparing to argue this, and then I'll just open it up to him, and then we'll go back to to everyone else. But I'm gonna argue that we're not introducing Doge into a healthy system, so we have a problem that we need to identify with Doge, and this problem is fraud, waste, and just inoptimal spending habits. And what I mean by that is like Elon's introducing the payment code and point of contact requirement on outgoing payments. Like these types of things are very simple, and they're things that go forward, and those are the types of things that Doge serves. And so I'm gonna get ahead of their argument, not necessarily just about taxing billionaires, but that the idea is that our government's not collecting enough tax revenue by showing that even the full billionaire wealth, in which we all know, the full billionaire wealth in the United States, you could seize all of it, wouldn't fund the government for a year. It's not a problem of people not paying their fair share. It's clearly a spending issue. And so I'm going to answer whether Doge is solving the problem is to what they're trying to solve, which is hopefully we will catch fraud and waste and we will be able to prosecute that, but also just to set up a system for the future that has guardrails that prevent and optimize our ability to spend effectively. And I'm just going to sort of like
Doge is going to
go
be
through
done in about 5 weeks, and they've only found about $160 billion worth of savings. And I can't say
when
how
you say
much of
done
it
though,
is.
How much? They're
this
gonna
is what I
find in
just
5
described
weeks,
though. This is like the setting up of
Elon,
guardrails
Elon.
and establishing the like ways that
Elon
we
stepped
conduct
down.
our
He's
spending
not
and those
even
systems
conducting it
is
anymore.
But okay,
that's
you really have
almost
to
automated.
look into exactly what Doge is cutting. I've been paying a lot of attention to it. Gibbs has run like 3 panels on it. A lot of it that's being framed is just Democrat priorities they don't like, which they have in fairness, they have every ability to cut. But the way it's being framed is they're cutting waste, they're cutting fraud and abuse.
I need to see
And
this.
really,
'cause
it's a little bit of a political
how do
agenda
you
as well.
base it on one side or not?
So one of the things
case by case.
You basing on Doge is not going to exist after 100 days or
Oh,
whatever.
and
You're talking about
130
Elon's-
days. 130 days,
July
which is
1st.
Right, but
He's not
Elon
even
is
running
not
this shit
Doge.
anymore.
Right,
Elon
right.
is not
Yeah,
synonymous
no.
with Doge.
right.
No.
Yeah. So this is the thing that this is one of the pieces of rhetoric that I think is going to have to be exposed in the debate, and we're going to have to argue about it because I mean, I'm pretty positive their arguments are going to center around that Elon's not legitimate. He's not the guy. He's really just serving himself, and he's unelected. All this nonsense, right? But the thing is that Elon has a specific contract, and that contract's for 130 days. And it's funny because Trump the other day said in a press conference or in a meeting that hey, Elon's almost out of here. He's already moving on to the next thing. He's halfway out the door, something like that. I don't know. I can't keep up with Trump's rhetoric, so I have to paraphrase him. I apologize if you guys hate that. But the press seized on that. Trump is turning on Elon there. He's kicking Elon out. Elon's kicked to the curb. He's persona non grata. He can't be here anymore. No, guys, it was always going to be 130 days. It's
Okay.
just the way it is.
I never knew about that contract. I'd never heard about that. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because, like, to my understanding, it was like basically Trump was like talking to Elon, and Elon's like, "Yeah, I don't need to keep messing around like with this stuff." He's like built a team to continue to do the audits, and Elon's going back to his company, SpaceX, Tesla, doing his shit. Like he doesn't need to be there in the government aspect. He's got the team running and building at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, it
But,
makes
okay,
sense.
no, yeah,
It's
it
like the
makes
same
sense to
thing
me
he did
too,
at
what he
X.
just
He
said.
does it at a lot of his companies where he goes in and sets up the system, and then the system, like that's almost what Elon is like a system builder, if anything.
Yeah, he was not trying to be the head honcho. Like he was just the one appointed to
So
start this because he's had bigger companies in,
Right.
Tesla, SpaceX, and he's built off of that too. So
Right. Well, it also doesn't happen without him, and I don't mean because of like him, but because of like the
that's
public
the
like
contract
calls out for Doge, right? Like this is he was on the campaign trail with Trump. Like we were talking about, like we want this.
That's what I was saying.
Elon's reach was one of the reasons he got so popular.
Government's been audited. Yeah.
well, Trump has set an effective deadline of July 4, 2026 for Doge to conclude its business. It's supposed to wrap up all of its recommendations, all of its findings. It's supposed to submit its final report or whatever, July 4th, 2026. And this is why it's very strange, the arguments that come up against Doge in the first place. Is that, I mean, it even has an expiration date. Like this isn't something that is just willy-nilly and people just decided one day, hey, we're going to do this and it's going to live forever. And we're creating a new agency or anything like that. It's a short-term project. It's a fact-finding mission. It's well within the president's purview, and they got to get over that. But they won't, and they ignore this stuff all the time. And if you bring it up, they will scream about it. But unfortunately, the July 4th thing is in Wikipedia. That's how popular it is, and that's how well known it is. It's in Wikipedia. It's in many other places too. I'm just saying that it's simple to point to. Just go to Wikipedia and look it up, right? Like I don't need to fact find for you. You can go do it.
I would honestly love to know where my taxpayer dollars are going, and some of my taxpayer dollars to what they have brought out and found out about just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
talk to my chat. Just 1 second, give me
from like a micro example. Being like the point of contact, payment code, like this stuff. Like every implementation like that into this payment system is like a success of Doge that will outlast like the existence of Doge
this is
itself.
A perfect time to
right?
do it. Naomi,
So
I love you guys.
I don't know. I wonder if they'll have like a new department or a new like smaller, more optimized like budgeting group, or maybe this just will be incorporated into some other existing department. And Doge is just a way for them to like really tackle these bigger, misspendings and perhaps other reasons. But I was thinking this kind of reminds me. I was thinking if they just replaced it with another program. Do you guys know that there was a program in 2004 called LifeLog, DARPA LifeLog? You can look this up. I think this is probably also on Wikipedia. But DARPA LifeLog, which was like supposed to be a social media platform that tracked your buying habits and all this other crazy shit that Facebook does, and it was ended the same day that Facebook launched as a private company. Like the same day, DARPA LifeLog was
camera on your cell phone.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, and I mean that's like a conspiracy theory, and it's pretty good one, honestly. I'm pretty fucking convinced.
The military told
but I want to steer back to the Doge thing just because we're going to be doing this thing in just a couple of days.
Well, the relationship was that right? Do you think that there's a good chance that when Doge ends, they'll just convert into another? They'll just start a new program. Like there'll just be this. Oh, here's the new optimal long-term existing program.
Before Doge, it was a program, but it wasn't called Doge. It was
Well,
we're still auditing the government under Obama.
So I think that Doge has a couple of things that it's mandated to do, and one of them, depending on how you depending on what article you read, but it's they're supposed to modernize federal operations and streamline the technology and software, right? So those recommendations will be made by July 4th, 2026, and then they'll be implemented and that'll be another project. That'll be another panel or whatever you want to call it. That'll be another creation. It does that. They're looking at fiscal prudence. So there's probably going to be some kind of, instead of an oversight committee in the Senate or something like that, there's going to be an oversight bureau, I would guess, of some kind that kind of it has specific aims. I think what my research says is that they're aiming to cut the federal spending by up to $2 trillion. Now I don't know how they're going to get there, but that's what they're trying to do. And then the obviously the biggest thing I think is they're going to go through and using Doge's findings, they're going to go through and reduce the number of duplicate agencies and redundancy, because
Nice.
you have so like, and the best example is you have the IRS, the FBI, the Department of Commerce. You have all of these agencies that are either policing or financial
CIA,
policing, and they all do the
NCIS.
same job. They all do basically the same job, and it just depends on who catches you, right? Like if you're cheating on your taxes, maybe the Department of Commerce catches you, maybe the IRS catches you, maybe the FBI catches you. But it just depends. And why do we have all three? Why do we need three agencies for the same task, the same basic task?
Right.
And so it's going to be interesting to see what those recommendations are. Now, all of those things that I named came from the White House or Business Insider, Market Watch, Forbes. They're in multiple places. So this isn't like I'm ready to cite all of the places where these things actually come from. And speaking of Business Insider, my wife was actually quoted in Market Insider the other day, so I feel pretty cool about
Hey,
that.
nice.
Yeah, I know, right?
Let's go.
So
Shout out Grid Wife. Grid One
Flex
Wife.
right there.
Let's go.
Mean Dad.
An unreasonable wife. Let's go.
That's right. That's what's up. Yeah. So she's we have a real estate investment fund in Ohio. And they just launched its second version, and so they were Market Insider was making a big deal about it, so they got a quote from her. So, which means that she wrote it and sent it into the guy doing the article. It's not like he interviewed her or anything.
Nice. That's so cool. So cool. It's in there.
So,
Anyone who has that magazine, you flip open the page, find it right there.
Just out of curiosity, who is your debate on the Doge thing against tomorrow?
oh, it is the craziest people. It's the classy neurotic and Renyald's Notebook. You couldn't ask for two more feminine dudes. I mean, names. I mean, names for dudes.
Wait, it is two dudes?
I'm assuming it's dudes.
You're assuming it's dudes.
Nowadays, I identify
mean-
as a fire truck, so
I don't know.
I mean,
that sound like-
calling Wang until proven wrong.
That'll be fun. I don't know what energy to bring. I usually just match the
Well,
energy I get.
So these are Destiny Orbiters.
I like to think I do. I don't know if you guys think I
Oh,
do.
God.
I think I
These
do.
are Destiny Orbiters that have the DGG playbook from DGG, and they're
Oh,
just using
no.
canned arguments.
I'm gonna be sick on Monday.
Who are these people? What are you debating?
Yeah, yeah. I know that.
People that I
because-
wouldn't allow in my chit chat.
wasn't
Apparently,
Who's it?
at anyone.
What are their names?
we ban
Classy
Democrats in
neurotic?
this Twitch chat here.
That
You
sounds
gotta get
like
rid of
hyper
the feds,
feminine.
too.
And so Classy Neurotic and Renyald's Notebook. I swear I couldn't make that up. Like,
Bro,
I think
like-
I've argued with Renyald before.
Before the election, I saw Josiah and Hutch on every fucking stream everywhere. They paid money to get into debates I was in to argue against me. And then as soon as every single prediction they made for a year and a half was wrong, these dudes disappeared off the face of the map. And they're two pretty large Destiny Orbiters in their own little group. Like, where the fuck did these dudes go after that embarrassing?
well, I had
display of prediction?
such a fun time with Connor the other night that I couldn't even tell you. You know,
I mean, I've called out Hutch multiple times, and he's run away from me every time. So
Same. He blocked me after he owes me $200 because we made bets.
I like these
I
panels
called
so
him
much
out in
more
our
than
Discord
the
that we
fucking
mutual. And he literally was like, I just don't have time for like people who are gonna yell at me. And I was like, I'm not yelling at you. I'm asking you for a conversation about the things that you are speaking incorrectly on.
right? Yeah, it's weird. So just for a point of reference, they're the same. They seem to be the same age and peer group as Non-Fon.
Well, I mean, people assume
Oh,
I'm in the
really?
same age and peer
Yeah.
group
Oh,
as non-con,
wonderful.
Yeah.
Not
So they're gonna-
fun is gonna be.
It's
you
going to
gotta
be
give them
all
that
canned
justice.
arguments.
Should be good.
It's
Gonna
going
be
to
all zero life experience.
Zero
all
life
internet
experience,
grok.
canned arguments. No,
Oh, God.
complete textbook. You know, it's what they wrote in civics class last year, and that's what we're going to be dealing with, and which is great because those are the easiest people to make look like complete total idiots, especially because I fully intend to go for the bombastic rhetoric, hyperbolicness that I did not use against my friend Average Debate Enjoyer when I crushed him. I wanted
Average Debate. It was it. Average Debate Enjoyer's greatest skill is his intelligence, and the only thing greater than that is his fucking hubris. This motherfucker.
The best thing about Average Debate Enjoyer is how happily he takes his ass whooping.
It was I had a great fucking time. I got to make the most based arguments I've ever made online. It was good. It was good. I had a good time.
It was a good debate. It was a good debate.
Deleting files for Hillary.
Yeah, my bad.
Sorry, I had to smash a BlackBerry with a hammer real quick. Just had to get that out of the way.
Dude, you still got one? Get rid of it.
Yeah. It's and the best part was Andrew keeping you keeping us from like going off in the weird tangents is great.
Well, I guess I'm probably gonna do some research into exactly, like the.
Didn't hear that.
It's probably simple, how Elon was hired, but I guess you think that's going to be one of the things they come with is like, oh, he's an illegitimate government employee, blah, blah, blah. I'll be like, how he was hired in this. I'll be ready to answer that question.
Yeah, since I've heard it, and I'm like, it's insane.
I just think a lot of the things, a lot of the confusion here for this, especially with maybe the younger people, is that like, especially what I started off with is that we're not introducing Doge into a healthy system. Like it would kind of make sense, some of this like apprehension to this, if it was like, why do we need to do this? It's like, we obviously need to fucking do this. We so obviously need to figure out what the fuck is happening financially. Huh?
Like that's the main thing I hear is Elon bought his way into that position. So if you got money, basically you're buying your way into government positions. So like,
but why would you do that?
Let me see frickin' Mark Cuban run for frickin' president and lose that shit. Like
Cuban's gonna run.
That would be hilarious if Cuban ran. That would be the ultimate
people who aren't in politics. You got money, you're getting in no matter what. That's the whole fucking thing right now. That's why Elon got his spot in Doge, because he had money. He bought his way in there.
Isn't Elon losing money by being in there?
Yeah, he's losing.
Well, I was gonna say, when you say bought his way in there, it kind of implies that it's impossible to become a valid.
But
is it impossible to become a valid government employee if you're really like rich? You've like now have to be excluded. I think you have to question, like, is he like legitimate for the purpose of why he was hired? And I would say, yeah, he's building a system. And like I said, like the analogy that I think makes sense here is like you're having someone come in and update your computer system. With one computer, this would take a couple hours, but this is the government. It's going to take a year.
He said
so, like,
update air traffic controller like systems and radars and all that, and better that kind of technology.
That fucker.
But it's like, yeah, I thought that's what he was there for, was to get it off the ground and running again. Obama started that in 2008.
I mean, I think he was there specifically to go in and set up a system to evaluate and comprehend the amount of government fraud, waste, and abuse. I'm sorry. Somebody was asking. Yeah, Andrew moderated the debate. Andrew's a hell of a moderator. He was a good moderator long before he was
fantastic.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever seen him that fair. Yeah, he's too big for us commoners now. He only talks to Greg.
To your point, to your point, the biggest thing is implementing something that allows us to, like, not just, it's like not just about tracking like the fraud and the waste and stuff, but it's like just being able to understand where the money is going. Because right now they'll be like, oh, there's no evidence of like all this stuff. It's like a lot of this we don't have any data at all. Like you can say there's no evidence when there's just no data. Like we don't know what the payment code was for these. We have like all this money that's getting sent out. All we're asking for is like to have these payment codes. And I think in a lot of cases, just that requirement is going to stop some of these payments from going out, because it's like, yeah, we're not going to be able to justify that one. You're not putting me down as the point of contact on that fucking payment. Okay. Like I'm not fucking doing it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be it's gonna, I think, easily, like everything they do is intended to be like updating your computer system. The guy who comes to update my computer system doesn't have to come hang out with me while I use it. You know what I mean? Like, thank you, you updated my system. You can now leave. Like, you do not have to stick around while I use it for the next 2 years.
What have you ever seen?
Maybe we need a periodic Doge. And presidents need to be able to summon a Doge.
Well, in theory, this point called Cable Guy. So basically, Elon Musk is Donald Trump's cable guy.
So in
They're kind of
theory, the
correct.
government's supposed to have these systems in place
Elon Musk
already.
is Donald
The problem is that they're so corrupt. They're so
True.
they're and the reality is, and we're seeing this with Hegseth right now, is all of those generals hate that dude because his entire job is to fire them. Like literally, his job. Trump told him, "Go clean that house out," and he's doing it, and they hate him for it. Look at how entrenched they are. Look at these generals that we've got more generals than we've ever had at any point in history. And why? Why are they, and why are they all in the Pentagon? Why are they all in the Department of Defense?
Are they all trusted?
Can't they get a book tour somewhere? I mean, come on,
Yeah. Did you get a general position out of a cereal box?
Agrolepolis donated $20. Super chat. Department of Gov
Seems how it's
Efficiency
been going
guys not
nowadays.
update your software guys.
Sorry, I got a super chat in there. But you know, Doge is like Hegseth. In this, in Trump is trying to clean house as quickly, as thoroughly, and as just viciously as he possibly can, because he knows he's on borrowed time. He's got 4 years to get it done and make enough headway that they can't reverse it in a single term. And he knows it, and that's it. And he's going for broke. He's like Midnight Cowboy making a run to the fucking border or some shit, because he is just making it happen. And Hegseth is a great example of how Elon is the financial Hegseth, right? Like he's going in there, he's looking around, he's seeing what's going on, and he's wrecking shit. And then on the backside of that, Hegseth is over there in the Department of Defense. You've got Kristi Noem over there wrecking shit. They arrested judges the other day. Did you see that shit? Kristi Noem said, "Oh yeah, they arrested two. I thought they arrested three, but they arrested two judges.
I heard about the one up in Milwaukee. Yeah,
Wisconsin. Yeah,
And look, the fair thing to say is to look, we'll wait and see if the answer is that they're guilty of what is being alleged. But the immediate posturing from the left has been so comical. Is I'm like, yeah, of course you're immediately mad. You're not even willing to entertain the fact that that a judge broke a law. Like a judge can't break a federal law. That's impossible. These people are like, nobody's above the law. Just the 40 million people that we're not going to deport.
It was in a courthouse.
All the people we pardoned with
fucking
preemptive pardons.
Where people are there
Democrats so fucking much. Sorry.
It was in a courthouse where people are there to do business. But I always freaking go back to, in Colorado when those gangs from Mexico took over an apartment complex, a condo, whatever. It was just one, though.
Right?
It was just one, though. That's
right.
the thing. It was just one.
Venezuela is the Venezuela.
That judge up in Wisconsin let one illegal immigrant go and escape. They got him, though.
Who hasn't gone into a hotel and taken it over at gunpoint? Come on, guys. Who hasn't done that?
Guys, so here's the thing about the judge, though. The judge in New Mexico was convicted. He lost his seat.
Oh, I'm glad.
And they literally basically he can't be a court officer in New Mexico at all. And he was still hiding MS-13 member, or not MS-13. I forget the name of the gang. Sorry, I'm not good with Mexican gangs.
I don't gang. There's too many. That's the point. Another point for us. Too many to count.
Whoever it was, they were still harboring them on their property. They have pictures of them letting these gang members shoot their daughters' weapons at the range. Like, how bad do you want to flaunt the law? That's literally like me robbing a bank and sitting there Bugs Bunny style with my feet up on the desk with bags of money around me going, F you, you can't come, come and get me, right? Like that's how that looks. And the judge in Wisconsin, that was another gang. And I say gang, what I mean is cartel member. She was literally hiding this dude in the courthouse, and then she was hiding. They were to
Yeah.
elude the FBI. She was hiding in a courthouse and
She
saying
told
that
him
the
to sneak
FBI
out the
couldn't come in and get
jury
her.
door.
What's
Yeah.
that?
She told them, she's like, "Oh, go out the back jury door.
Yeah.
Like they won't see you."
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
they got him though. I'm glad they got him. Like, come on.
It was
Like,
crazy.
you're gonna be
man.
a judge and uphold the law, but like someone's here illegally.
It's also just
And
risking your bar license
they're
for
not
this. It's
even
so
at-
stupid.
They didn't even go to trial, and you're
But
telling
they're
them to flee
Democrats.
from
They're not
the
going to get
law?
You have so much
disbarred.
more influence as a
Kentucky,
judge
come
in
on,
your
bro.
community.
Bro,
It's
come on.
crazy.
They're
Like,
Democrats.
it-
They tickle the
like-
right balls. They don't get disbarred. Come on.
That
It's
is
sad,
true,
but
but
if you-
hopefully
if you
we're
have
getting
prior
justice here
histories, too.
because this is like laughably obtuse.
It is.
For someone
It
to try to
is.
pull
It
this
just-
shit.
It blows my mind.
So I don't know if you
Right-wing
guys
victim
are
culture.
interested, but a little later tonight, we're going to start up here in a few minutes. I have a Bloodsport debate round robin single elimination panel going on tonight. I do it every Saturday night. You get 1 minute
Oh, yeah.
as to state your position. Each combatant, and then 5 minutes. And then I normally have a panel of judges that decide the winner. I'm short a judge tonight, so I'm going to have to sub one in. And I moderate, and it's great fun, guys. So it's awesome. You guys are welcome to show up.
I'm just too
Interesting.
nice for
Might-
Bloodsport.
Might watch an episode first.
Yeah?
See what I'm
I'm
getting
not.
into.
Yeah.
I like debating, but that sounds. I need to eat. I haven't eaten. I gotta get
I
some
don't think
brain
I've
food.
actually had a thing where I've had to like actually go at somebody in terms of debate on your thing like Pentuple, because I used to do debate in real life. So like rhetorically, like I'm pretty good, but
Yeah.
I-
Well, there's debate, and then there's this where it's more just like conversational and stuff.
Well,
I kind
I
of
mean,
prefer
like-
this.
yeah, when the first time I was on your panel, it was essentially like a 1v4. It was like everybody versus me, and then like
Yeah, that's
there was
true.
the-
I've been there. This is why I'm. It's nice that I'm the streamer now. I used to be the chatter and everyone's fucking 1v8 and all that. No, I get it, but I get what you're saying. I appreciate you coming too. It's definitely nice to have people that don't like necessarily all agree, but I definitely do enjoy
Yeah.
like I don't like. It's like at every table you sit, you're like, oh, got to make sure we have somebody who fucking disagrees with me. It's like, why would I want that? Like, why would that? Like, logically, why would I want that? Like, not like put it on any issue. It just like, it kind of makes sense. But at the same time, like, there is value, and I like you because I like the way you think and stuff. I don't really see you as like someone who disagrees with me on everything. So I don't know. Maybe
Well,
that's
yeah,
just
like-
projecting the left onto you and every Democrat. I
I
tend to
am,
do that
like-
sometimes. We have Democrats on. I just project their entire
Like,
party onto them.
you're
And
not
I'm like,
wrong,
fuck
though.
you. You did this.
I am technically like I guess by definition I would be a leftist, but I definitely lean more towards the center. But yeah, the one thing that I would say I fight the most with the left on is I'm like very anti-immigration. Like this is something that I definitely align more heavily with the right on.
Nice. It's like our biggest thing.
I've been told the last
Oh,
2
fuck
weeks
yeah.
like 7 times now that I'm a fucking fence sitter. So if I'm ever against
You
you, it's
kind-
only
you-
full time.
You sit on the fence on purpose, though, and you know
It's
it.
not fence sitting so much. I have conclusions and preferences. I just often am trying to expand upon things to get a better conversation out of them. But I
You would be
definitely
not on
have-
the fence on an issue. You'd go climb up
so-
that fence and go sit on it.
Pentuple, what kind of lawyer are you?
I do real estate law,
Oh, really?
so nothing that I overlap really with.
In what
you know,
state
I don't have
or states?
in Maryland.
Oh, okay.
In Maryland.
It will for my fucking housing policy when I pull you into that shit in like a year.
No, my job's not interesting, and
It is for what I
it's-
need you for. We're writing a real goddamn
I'm-
policy.
I have like I never realized how many different lawyers you need in life. Like,
True. A lot of people hit me up, and I'm like, "Hey, I don't know, dude." Like,
Yeah, I don't do that.
you
That's
know,
I
have no idea.
you call the lawyer that just set up our fund. Hey, listen, we got some real estate law questions here. Yeah, we don't do that. You gotta call somebody else.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean,
is-
especially because especially once you pass the bar. I mean, people joke about this, but like once you pass the bar, everyone's like hitting you up with like these legal questions, and I'm like, you think that you would want to hear my answer versus someone who's been like practicing family law in this state and can actually tell you what's going to happen when you go to trial? Like, I can tell you like the basic principles that are applied that are tested on the bar exam, which is like the most surface level understanding. Like, you guys could all search like family law elements required, like for divorce or like, you know, jurisdiction regarding divorces and kids and stuff like that. And you could probably learn it in the night. It's not even super complicated family law. But it's like that's not enough to provide an answer to be like, hey, yeah, if you want to divorce him, you know, here's what's gonna happen with like the assets and your kid. Like I have no fucking idea what the court's gonna do. I have no experience in that. But so yeah, I mean I am an attorney, but as far as like any sort of practical experience, unfortunately I don't have any yet.
That's
But we'll
all right,
see.
man. It's I
One day.
like I said, man, it's a lawyer. Once you get to a certain point, you start collecting lawyers until you have the whole set. So
Boy,
Gotta
vey.
collect them all. It's true. True. I get asked a lot about divorces.
I don't
Probably
have one
4
of
or 5
those.
times.
I've
Not
only
a
ever
lot,
been
but
married. I've
just
been
people
married
ask
one
me, and I'm
time.
like, I don't need. I see him on Facebook now, and I'm like, oh, they're not doing so hot, you know. Like she fucking messaged me and was like, can I divorce him in like this state if like I want to go live with my parents here? And I'm like, I don't know, but like I wish you the best. I'm sorry, your marriage is falling apart. One's in Japan. I was like, I really don't know. Like I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that lawyers and doctors got to be the two where people are. Everybody's like, can you help me with this? And they just have to go. No, I don't do that. I'm a different kind of
Yeah.
lawyer. I'm a different kind of doctor. When I own the shops, everybody would ask me about their cars or about whatever, you know, what they should buy, what, you know, and I'm like, I get paid for that, man. Like this is I mean, I'll give you what you can read in Motor Trend. I'll tell you the same thing Motor Trend will tell you, but beyond that, you know. And I was a really weird dude because most of what I did was in motorsports, and I was so secretive for so long. Like there's so few pictures even of the cars I built because I didn't want any. I didn't want anybody to know what we were doing, or, you know, I mean, obviously pictures exist because I went to the track and went around the track and there's video and stuff, but like I had rules written about things I did. Like I created enough concern that they wrote a rule to prevent me from continuing forward with the things I was doing. And,
Dang.
and I take pride in
I
that,
mean,
right?
yeah, I wouldn't want the competition to know what I was going on about.
It used to, and I think I got that because when early on in my career, I was in Mooresville, and right across from us was a race team. They had 2 cars, and they had 2 car chiefs, and they literally had separate areas. Now these guys worked in the same shop, same team, same owner. They literally would put the cars on a separate side of the shops. There were walls between them. They covered the cars every night with car covers with padlocks on them, so you couldn't see anything about the car. And I was like, and these are friends.
Was this on road or dirt tracks?
Well, I did road racing, so I did mostly.
okay.
I started out, and most of what I did was with Porsche.
Okay.
But I did a lot with a lot of different people. And then I ended with Mazda. I was with Mazda for several years. So, yeah.
Cool.
But I've done the Pikes Peak hill climb several times. I did a bunch of weird engine stuff for jet dragsters. That was cool. I welded. So have you ever seen that?
Jet dragsters.
What is
I've
it?
seen a few of them.
What is that? The Rocket Pack guy, Go Fast energy drink. So they were in Colorado when I was there, and I welded up a bunch of the stuff that they eat on their jetpack when they were building the jetpacks that like they hopped over the mountains and shit with. That was cool. That was like totally different than motorsports, where they're like, "Hey, nobody else will weld this because they're afraid we're going to die. Will you do it?" And I'm like, "Sure, I don't care if you die." Like it's not coming back on me, right?
It's not in my hands. Yeah, right.
Back on me. I'm not writing you a receipt or anything. Like,
Right. Damn.
but yeah, it was pretty cool. I did a lot of weird stuff. But the best thing I ever did was learn how to argue rules. Because I would do all kinds of crazy stuff to the car, and then I had to prove that I could do it. Or that there was no rule saying I couldn't do it, and therefore I could do it. And then I would go and find all the stuff that other people had done and argue that they couldn't do that. and I remember one year Honda had these air ducts on the front of their bumper, and they were and the rules were that you couldn't have any ducting in the front of the car. And I went and literally took pictures of them while they were on pit lane or in pre-grid. And I went over and I showed the tech guys. I'm like, hey, you see this? This is over there, and that's not right, man. They're like, we'll take care of it later, and then they didn't. And so then I got to protest the car and a bunch of stuff. It was very funny, but that's why I got to be such an asshat debater, is because I was always arguing the rules, and I didn't care. I mean, I would argue the exact same rule from both sides, depending on whether it benefited me or not. Like, I'll be honest about it. Like,
I mean, it makes sense if you see other people doing it. I would try to like argue it and debate it too. But yeah, I've never been a debater, but I've always liked understanding and hearing where other people come from. It's always been interesting to me. But like, yeah, this is my first time I've ever kind of like got into some kind of a debate. I don't know if I'd call it that tonight, but,
Well,
yeah, I like
discussion's
that
good.
we debate without it
Yes,
being like
discussion
oppositional.
is
Not all debates
great.
have to be so
No.
oppositional, where it's like we're defending like an idea that has to be defended, as opposed to just being like, here's an idea, here's a conflicting idea. Why, like, what, like
I like
I've
to
said
have
often, most of the time,
Yes.
the people make like comparisons or analogies. Like most of the time, it's just like, what's the missing variable? Like, what am I applying that you're not applying? Like, it's not like we have such vastly different principles. It's just like there's a variable missing that you're clearly accounting for here, and I'm not, or vice versa.
Let's be honest. The other night when that I mean, it's been a week or so ago when the communist chick was talking about sex orgies at the VA, which, by the way, we got to bring up in Doge. In the Doge argument, we have to. That has to be.
Yes, I agree.
I'm not sure whether we should
need
defund that or not.
That.
But and that happened here in Tennessee. So I mean, you know, so I could probably go get some.
There was
go
a
do some
sex
research on
orgy
That we
on
know.
record at a VA somewhere.
Yeah.
They have gay
Yo, there was
orgies
a
in the
sex
fucking
orgy
Capitol
on
building, so
record. Yeah, exactly.
VA
What
paid
you're saying.
for-
I'm sorry, I missed it.
It
I
was
must
not
have missed
paid.
this
It doesn't
chapter.
matter.
It was not
The leaked there was a
sex
leaked
orgy.
image of a staffer in the Capitol building. I think it was in the Senate room or whatever. There's a one of the House
that-
chambers
that
or
you're
something.
talking about
They
Of
were-
him taking it
They
up
were deep in
taking
there.
it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was deep up his. You know, it was. I didn't look at the picture for long.
Yes.
Immediately looked away as soon as I recognized what it
As
was,
soon
of
as you
course, but
nut.
only long enough to assertively tell you exactly what I saw. Dude, he had 6 freckles around. No, I was just kidding.
Yeah.
Like, I know what I saw. I'm just kidding.
Well, pet your stalkers. In
The details are super fuzzy. Some friend was telling me about it, actually. I don't think I've ever seen the picture. I don't know. Maybe it's not real. Yeah, it might not be real. I'm actually willing to accept defeat on this point. I don't know that it's real. I've never seen a picture like that.
I think it was.
It's not on my phone.
There was drugs involved.
If this is true, I am so disappointed in my people.
So it wasn't just
No, it is
sex
true.
You are
orgy.
It is
disappointed.
It is true.
It wasn't
But
just.
it's
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
it's not the first. We know that.
It won't be the last either.
It wasn't just a sex
Sadly.
orgy. It was continuous sex orgies paid for by the VA hospital in Mountain Home VA Medical Center in Tennessee. Literally, they were paying
Layers.
for sex orgies. And I'm not sure if that was for staffers or for patients or a blend. I'm not really sure who got
I
invited
thought
to
it
the
was for a
sex
lot
orgies.
of politicians.
Yeah, I don't know. So,
I'd take a sex orgy.
I could be wrong.
What do I work? What do I gotta work?
and
VA.
apparently, so
DNC.
the congressional investigation on that showed that at least 12 officials, not just patients, officials at the VA Medical Center participated in a group sexual encounter, and one employee engaged in sexual relationships with 32 different coworkers paid for by your tax dollars.
Dude, some girls be
Let's
like
go.
that. For real. What do we do?
Real quick, do you want me to throw a couple arguments at you? You guys are probably gonna run
Yes.
into.
I was
So-
going to do that, but then I realized I'm probably going to give better.
It takes
talking
sex
points to the
therapy
people
to
they're
like a
debating
whole
against.
new
Yeah.
thing.
We
Well,
have
yeah.
the sex orgy thing that we were gonna just brush that
Yeah,
off that quick.
I
I was gonna say, remember the cop?
I
Remember
think
the
we all
cop that got in
understand that's
trouble?
happened.
Elon
was
Oh
Musk
yeah, that was
buying
in
the whole
his
Tennessee
way-
too.
Oh yeah,
That was in
Yeah.
the next town from mine, actually.
Yeah.
Elon Musk buying his way into power. The counter argument to that is obviously, well, political.
Everything
donations-
Elon does is bought his
Yeah.
way into. He can't
Well,
get
it's
a girl
like-
pregnant without
Yeah,
buying his way into it.
Sure,
Like,
but at the end of the day,
I
it's
gotta
like
be honest
political
though.
donations from my side are okay, and political donations for your side are proof of corruption. That's how that
But
argument always.
hold on,
works.
Elon's rich. He's ineligible to be a government employee because otherwise we're hiring people who are rich
right? That's
and they bought their way in.
but he is the most. It's literally based that he doesn't even have sex with these women. He's like, you gross. Nobody
Yeah.
wants in. Nobody wants your
Sperm
badge.
donator.
He's like, we're injecting you.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of the
Nobody's
most
taking-
base thing ever. He's like, hey, I just
They
Nobody's
wanted-
taking one of my
They
turkey
wanted his
basters yet.
semen.
Who wants one of my
Yeah.
turkey basters?
Yo, pass it off. I'll sell it for $50 on the internet.
Take a taste too.
no. How about no? Yeah.
Pause.
Pause. Yeah, sorry, I forgot that word.
Yeah.
I'm
I mean,
not up on
it's
that.
interesting, especially because, like, why Elon and stuff, but Elon is on the forefront of this AI, and I'd be curious, because I actually don't know the answer to this question, how much of what Doge is doing is using AI? Because that is the future of technology, and I do think AI is at the point right now where it can read fucking numbers and data and
Yeah.
organize
Isn't
payments
Elon
and shit like
big
that.
on AI and all that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Dude,
so I mean, like,
let me
it kind
tell
of makes
ya.
sense that, like, whether you think
Tesla's
he bought his way
self-driving.
in, he's
Dude.
in a unique position to offer
Yeah.
a skill set and a talent that is actually, like, perhaps in demand
He's
for something
definitely
like
got
this.
intelligence in that.
Man, I don't know
Yeah,
if you guys
a
have
little bit.
used the paid for version of Chat GTP, but it is insane.
No.
I use paid Grok,
Yeah,
and I am equally befuddled as you probably,
dude,
but I don't know which one's
it's
better.
insane. It's like having a conversation with an intelligent secretary that actually understands what you're asking, and it will go do it.
So a
And it
man.
provides like citations and stuff. I was like, I didn't ask for any of this. Like, I just wanted to
When you-
understand what the real estate market in Ohio currently is. It was like,
That's true. It'll answer things I didn't even think I was asking yet. I was like, I was gonna get there, but you got there. But when you think and visualize when yourself talking your ChatGPT, do you visualize it as a woman or a male?
I don't
based on,
visualize
like,
it
how
as
speaks
like
to you?
anything, but it's just crazy. It's like
Because
it's like
mine's
I'm
a
having- it's like
dog.
I'm having
Mine's
a
a homie dog.
conversation.
Grok be doing everything I need him to do.
I call it's like having a conversation. It's like if I call a helpline or something, and I'm like, hey, I need this done, or like when I would have research done, hey, I need this researched. Click. But it's really interesting. It's like talking to a person. Like it's
Yeah,
really crazy.
That's I would say that's my experience with Grok. I haven't actually used ChatGPT since like probably two years. I've just been using Grok, especially because now it's at the point where, like, if you really want to get the best experience with AI, you got to pay for one. So I chose Grok because it's on
Yeah.
Twitter and stuff like that.
I
But,
used
I mean, I've-
ChatGPT back in the day, but yeah, like, it's basically just you could ask it anything and it just searched multiple platforms. To my understanding, like, I'm not
Yeah,
too big on it, but like ChatGPT, like back in the day, I'd be like, oh yeah, make up a story about this guy, and I would use it for like GTA RP. I would like
yeah,
role
that's
play
hilarious.
on GTA, and it would like create a backstory for my character.
See,
But like
Yeah.
back in my
It's rapidly
nowadays, it
improving.
seems like
Hold on,
it's
back in my
a lot
day,
more advanced than that.
we had to write our fan fictions by hand.
Yeah. I mean, I did
so-
it once.
So I had a video project, and I suck at doing like video. And so I was just like, I was messing around with the Chat GTP one day, and I'm like, hey, I want to do this video project. How would I do that? And it's like, oh, I'll write that for you. And it literally wrote all of the AI prompts for the AI video generator that I use. It wrote all of the prompts, and I just simply copied and pasted it in, and it spit out the video. It was nuts.
Interesting. Yeah.
It's crazy.
You can do that
never
with
figured
editing
it
as
out
well.
past that there.
You can literally so there's this editing tool called Filmora, and
Yes.
it has a paid version that you can pay $8 a month for, where you can literally just draw like a circle or an amorphous blob on the screen, and you can type in a prompt what you want it to do, and it'll actually just edit in the effect.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I mean,
That's
and this is
crazy
what we
technology.
have access to. Think about somebody like Elon
Yeah.
that's like got the real cutting edge shit, man. Like,
Oh, Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm like,
We
whoa.
got what we got.
Dude, I'm actually like, I think people are. It's surprising to me because at the first people were like, "You don't have we're not ready for how big AI is gonna be," and now everyone's like, "Oh, I don't think it's really all that." I'm like, I'm starting to think as time goes on, I'm becoming more like, holy shit. Like I remember growing up thinking like, this seems pretty profound. Like my parents and older people always talking to me about how like the days before everyone was walking around with a fucking like cell phone, and the internet. Like I barely remember that. Like I remember not having a phone, I guess, but like there was always internet connection on a computer as far as I've been alive. Like the idea like that was new, and I was like, wow, this like internet connectivity and social media and stuff is like pretty profound. Now it's with AI. I'm like, oh shit, we're like, I mean, not cooked, but like things are going to be so different, and this is really, I think, the level where that like exponential change is going to be so noticeable.
So
like I thought it was the internet. It's going to be AI.
But so then we went to the moon with less technology than like a fucking.
We had less safety
I
margins
believe that
as well.
actually. I believe
Like,
that.
how have we not gone back?
Because right now the safety margins are so fucking high that they won't do it. They just won't do it. It's not that they can't. Yeah. They're just like, no, we can't send a human up there like that. Like, we already have. What the fuck? Like,
yeah, it's like we already have, and then we got like AI drones and AI planes. Like, why can't we be sending AI rockets to the moon?
I want to respond to Super's thing because I've heard that before and thought about it.
Space junk, but
because people say, "Oh, we had like less computing power to get to the moon before, and like we basically use nothing."
In cell phone,
but
less computing power than in the cell phones we have nowadays.
But this is what my brain like does with it. I don't know if this is accurate or not, so I'll let you guys respond. But my understanding of that is like what we're calculating and stuff is like the angles and stuff to like travel to the moon, but it's not like you get like one thrust or burst and it's kind of like a ship where like you can adjust the sails as you approach the moon. You can like readjust, you do calculations, you readjust. It's like you actually probably didn't even need like you need the thrusters and you need all the protective stuff to get out of that, like to physically get into space, right? But then to get to the moon, I see it as like it's kind of like a ship or like a car. You know, like you can steer it as you're moving. But I don't know that that's necessarily how it works or how much control that you have in that sense. But it kind of makes sense that like you don't really need the computers if you guide it like manually. Like the computers are like, because it's so much safer, smarter, way more fucking fuel efficient. Like talk about like trying to optimize everything. There's no way you would send a spaceship up to be manually controlled. It would not be the most optimal, efficient use of all of the power involved, right? So like at the time, it's like we're manually driving this. You don't need that much computing power. You just have to calculate, okay, here's the angle we can calculate to get there and stuff. I think it makes sense actually, but it is assuming that like I'm
using a bigger margin of error.
There's such a high barrier.
Say what?
There's such a high barrier now. It's just like people complain about how much airline tickets cost and how much all this stuff is, and why can't they build them faster? If you go look at a Ford Trimotor, which was like the state of the art, passenger plane back in the day. It's a tin box. Like you're literally sitting in a piece of canvas. There's no leather seats. There's nothing. It's terrible. And there's no way you could get that kind of technology to be approved to fly people around commercially now. I mean, we've gone so far.
The risk of life.
We've gone so far on the side of we can't risk it that we don't do shit that we should.
I feel like there's a lot.
A woman just got arrested,
though, that want to go out there, though.
Dude, a woman got arrested in Georgia earlier this year for letting her 11-year-old son walk to the convenience store 3/4 of a mile away. She got arrested, bro. I used to ride my bike 10, 12 miles a day.
What kind of neighborhood are we talking?
It was rural. It's rural. It's like dudes walking down the road.
11 miles down the country road is pretty crazy.
What was she charged with?
Great people in chat are asking for a citation.
Huh.
Let's see it.
I remember seeing the story, but I think it's just ridiculous because I used to walk to the store.
Right. We all did. I used to walk to school every day. Dude.
Yeah, this makes me think that like the prosecutor is gonna have to like they're going to be asked about this. What are they going to say? They're going to be like, "Oh, it's justified because we can." And
I
this
have a
is
link to
technically
the story.
that's interesting.
Well,
Oh,
they didn't want
charges
a
got
prosecutor.
dismissed.
They just kept adding
Oh,
charges
dismissed?
so she'd take a plea deal.
The first thing that I see when I searched it up was charges dismissed, and that's from February 21st.
Oh, did they actually dismiss them? Because they were adding charges up so she wouldn't go to court and she'd take the plea.
Well, still, it's wild to charge him in that case without some like. Why did you charge? I'd still like that answer. Why did you charge? Why were you going to? Is also a valid question for sure.
Why did they arrest her and take her out of her home with her kids there? Like, it's not okay for them to walk to the store, but you're going to arrest the mom and take her to jail? What? Like,
It's
I
a
agree. They
problem
should
for
have
the kid
arrested
being
the kid.
alone. So the
They
solution.
should have thrown the
put the
kid
kid
in the
alone.
fucking trunk and said, "You damn little darn kid." No, I was kidding.
I mean, this is the world we live in, Ben Tupple. This is why you need Doge, because people can't even do fucking math anymore. Like,
Well, that's true.
people
I
can't even-
definitely
Dude,
have
I-
been,
like, well,
as I get older, I'm like
$1,000.
less
Learn how to math.
confident that the people
Let alone
that I
spell.
are my peers. Well, it's like, is my like I don't know. It's
Chicago public schools.
The kids these days.
It's like
Say it.
I don't even know how to say it.
So one of my
But, like,
chatters,
Have you heard their
said-
music?
one-
The kids
one of
these
my
days,
chatters
they have
said
no work
Filthy.
ethic.
it's because
Say it.
Hey, what's wrong with the music?
No, they definitely don't have no work ethic. I
You're
tell
all
you
sound
that.
like old men right now. That's
I
all.
am
what's wrong with
old.
the music?
You know, there was
All
a
I know
generation
is
that said the
physical
same shit
labor.
about
I had a
you.
birthday a few days ago. I'm officially fucking old now.
It was Grid's generation
No.
saying that
So?
about
You
you.
just turned
Oh,
25.
Tyler, what is wrong with the music?
I was mocking that.
He's
Every generation
Fucking
saying the
shit.
next generation sucks.
Yeah.
One of
How
my
about
chatters
General
actually
Flip?
brings
True,
up a
though.
great point that it's because the leftists openly say now that they aren't your kids, but the community's kids, and the community is
True.
responsible for those kids.
You can see that.
I've heard them
reflected in
make
the policies,
arguments
too.
like, you don't know what's better for your child than a teacher does when it comes to education.
That's
I'm
right.
like, yeah, you're out. You're gone. You're done.
That's
like,
why
I'm never
I
going to
get
talk
rid
to
of
you
the
again. Yeah, I don't
Department of
trust you on
Education.
anything. Oh, God. It's one of those things that you say, and it's just like, I'm immediately discrediting you from ever being taken seriously. In my mind, I just
Yeah.
can't do it. Like, you're not at my table if I'm ever trying to figure out or solve a problem. I don't want you there.
Yeah.
Let me ask
Like,
you this,
it's
Pentupple.
crazy.
Let's say
Like-
it comes from the opposite side, though. Let's say that there's a leftist who wants their kid to be like, they don't want their kid to be, in air quotes, indoctrinated by like the fascist school system. Would you tell them that they know better for their kid than a teacher does in that case?
I would say they have. I would side with them and say if they want to fucking be this with their parents. Dude, I let
Homeschool, baby.
Muslim parents have Muslim kids, and I don't like Muslims, or I don't like Islam, I should say. But like the
Got
point
'em.
is like yeah, you can be woke and whatever, but like the idea that like I'm going to
What?
disagree with what they teach their child. That's not the issue. The issue is when the state or when the school is trying to implement their
Hillary
shit.
Clinton
I don't like that. The
Everybody.
teacher does not rank above the Visky chat. Listen, I didn't mean to say I don't like Muslims.
Yeah, keep your
Muslims might
pants
not like
on.
me. I don't
You're breaking
necessarily
her heart,
probably get
man.
along with Muslims by default. I don't know. I don't meet a lot of Muslims. I like Muslims. I've met Muslims. I'm digging a hole here. Okay, I love Muslims. PR, Twitch, whatever the fuck I need to say.
Plenty of my friends are Muslim.
Everyone's
Okay,
equal. All
Bob.
religions are the same, and everyone's valid. All cultures are good, and blah blah blah.
Can't
not
be
all
racist.
cultures are
Twitch
not
safety
good.
team plays.
Yo.
I'll fucking goggle, whatever. Please don't leave my channel.
If you
Anyways,
hate
the point I'm
everyone
trying to make-
equally,
This is
you
why I don't
can't be
stream the Twitch.
racist.
I gotta do the quick. Sorry, let me go gawk Twitch safety real quick.
No,
No,
you're
I'm just
good.
kidding.
You were breaking BSK's heart. She has a massive
Oh, we're
crush
shut
on
down.
you. She won't stop
That's
talking
true.
about
I have a
it.
Muslim in chat.
She's been talking about how much
My
she
kid-
loves you. She wants to get married and all that.
Yeah.
the
No,
school-
but anyways,
She keeps
the
referring to your
school
face as her
system-
seat.
the public
Weird.
school
I'm
system-
anti-schools, and I have a general lack of respect for the like class that is like public school teachers.
Yes, agreed.
Like there are exceptions, obviously, but
No,
like
no,
generally
really
speaking, if you're
aren't.
like,
No.
oh hey, you want to go to this convention of public school teachers? I'd be like, hey, you want to kill me? You want to just kill me? You want to just end my life right now? Like you want to just end my life? That'd be great.
I mean,
And I'm being a little facetious. I'm not really serious, but the
Yeah,
point
I
I'm
get
just
where
saying
you're
is
coming
like I
from.
don't think we've set a very high bar for our public school teachers, and I'd like to set a higher one. One of the ideas I'd like to do is cut the school day in half, cut the teachers, half of them you're fired. your salaries,
I
double
love
the
that.
salaries of the
But
remaining
you
teachers.
understand the history of
Keep the
public
class sizes
education?
the same by splitting up the day. They're not there as long.
You understand the history of public education, right? With Rockefeller and the Prussian model and all that.
Not
don't
like
think I've ever
in-
got
So
that.
JD
intimately.
Rockefeller and his robber baron buddies. And by the way, I have to say this every time I say that. How badass are you to call yourself robber barons, and everybody in history also calls you robber barons? I mean, that's gangster as hell, man. Like, that's really badass. Anyway, so
Rockefeller was a pretty big name. I
Rockefeller,
would say,
who was legitimately, I believe, a completely heartless human being that only cared about money above everything else, even
Yeah.
his own family.
Definitely.
He was selling Standard Oil, and once he did that, he was going into factories. And what do you need in factories? Well, you need, at that time, there were very few machines, so you needed humans. You needed good employees. So he decided, he literally searched the world to determine what was the best education system that produced the most mindless, controllable soldiers. And it's the Prussian model. And then they modeled they adapted the Prussian model to the work schedule. That's why every public school system throughout fucking history has had a morning bell to tell you to get there, because it is a factory. That's why every class changes on a bell. That's why you go to fucking lunch at the lunch
They
time.
do the Pledge of Allegiance at factories.
They're training
They
you
don't do it.
They
to
used
be
to
a
do the
factory
Pledge of
worker
They
Allegiance
from the
at
stopped.
time you're
schools.
from the time you're 5 years
That's
old.
where
You're
the
trained to be a
school's
factory.
downfall went.
They're required to.
Public schools.
Yeah, we need to massively reform public schools, and
I
the
saw
problem, the
someone
reason
got
I
sent
feel like
to
it
a
seems like the
principal's office
obstacle
for
we
not
can't is
standing up
because
for the pledge.
the biggest obstacle, it seems like, is all these fucking annoying teachers that are like,
Yeah. Pretty
no, like
wild,
my
but,
job,
like,
my thing.
that's
I'm like,
what
we
the-
need to redesign
yeah.
the system, and at no point are we going to be like,
Pentuple.
oh, is the current crop of teachers going to be comfortable?
I
Like,
think
are they going to have to
Let
get
me
a new
ask
job? Oh, yeah, fuck off. I'm
Leave
not
Pentuple,
talking
the
about you at all.
schooling
ask
up
you.
to the states and
Yeah.
not to the government.
Exactly. And Tom, let me ask you something. I mean, because you're a bright guy and you could probably do math. So there,
I like to think I'm good at
the
math.
department, the DOE,
Better.
the federal DOE
I'm not.
has
Yeah.
an annual budget of it's $10.5 billion. For the past
Okay.
10 years, they've been unable to account. No, wait a minute. It's more than that. It's like $100 billion. They've been unable to account for $8.5 billion every year for the past 10 years. They don't know what happened to it.
Wow.
They had it.
That's
It was in the account. They don't know what happened to it.
Okay.
How is it that $100 billion organization has to ask parents to provide fucking paper and pens?
When you say that, are you talking about like how like you have to buy your kids like
for
the
the-
school list
yeah,
or whatever
yeah.
before
You're
the
talking
school
about
year?
No,
Yeah.
teachers beg. They beg. Oh, we don't have enough money to do Xerox or print off these things for your children. You need to buy paper and send it in.
This is Randy Weingarten's fault. We have our teachers' unions kind of holding the balls of this. So
Oh yeah.
administrations have grown almost 10 times the rate as teachers and students in the last 20 years. They're sucking up all the fucking money. Tiberius wants to get pulled in. They're sucking up all the money. A lot of them can't even teach. A lot of them get like put in rubber rooms. Pentuple might like that because they're
Rubber
touching
rats.
kids and they're not like fired from their jobs because they have a public sector union.
Sheridan,
I am all for
usually
private
right.
sector unions.
And yes, so
public
this
sector
is not a
unions, on the
debate.
other hand,
This is
you're
just sitting around
fucking arguing
bullshitting.
against the taxpayer.
Pentuple and I
off.
are debating a couple of people on Sarah the Raging Tomato in a couple of days, and I'm going to
Tiberius, I was giving you
having a good time.
I was trying to hurry up to give you some intro, dog.
I'm sorry about that. I didn't know we were expecting my imminent arrival.
We were anticipating it.
I got
Yeah,
you. Well,
we were waiting.
well, thank you for waiting on me. I have nothing to offer in this conversation as I
All right, gotta go.
just yeah, fair
See ya.
enough.
I actually got to go. I got to go
No,
start the blood sports. My chat's getting restless. They want the blood. They want the.
Hey, thanks for joining.
Well,
Thanks
yeah,
for
no
joining.
shit.
It's a
I
pleasure
missed it.
talking.
For
sure.
Thanks for joining, Grid. And,
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'll
I
see you on
sent you the
Monday.
link. I think I sent you the
Yes.
link. You guys are all
I
welcome.
didn't see that.
Come over and get in on the fun. Normally, I don't know if we're going to do it this week because we're trying a little bit of a different format. But normally, all the super
face
chats that
clan.
are collected during
Right.
the debate, the overall winner at the end of the night gets 10% of that. So,
You know this one?
Mm, interesting. All right.
all right.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah, you guys have a great
you're
rest of
taking
your night.
off?
All right, ladies and gentlemen. I had enough of that. That was great. That was fun, though. I just, echo chambers. I don't know. I don't know about echo chambers. Whatever. Anyway, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to get some shit going on. Got guns and you were raised by a single dad? Awesome, dude. Welcome. That was very cool. You got to hear more about Polish models? Who the fuck's talking about Polish fucking models? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. Hey, there's Tacticus 1979. Were you just over there? That's funny. That is hilarious. So that's cool. Win Latchkey Kids. Offers nothing to a debate. Okay. I was out shooting all day, so no, I didn't see it. I was up at 4:30 this morning. I'm like running on just straight up caffeine right now. Well, let's kick this pig. Let's get this up here. I want to explain let's get the guys who want to come up and actually debate. If we want to tonight, because we got to get it going. We got to get it. We got to have it moving along quickly. No, not Polish, Prussian. Here, I'll spell that for you. Whoops. Typo. There you go. Doomerang's just having fun now. All right. Anyway, so run through the chat moves. All right, hang on. Let me throw this up here. I got to get over. Got serious stuff going on, guys. Serious stuff. All right. I don't know if you can see that. Let me move this over here. All right. So, oh man, I got it. Let's see. It's hard to see. I'm gonna have to change the color palette. You guys see that? There you go. Good. All right. So what you're looking at here is the price list, if you will. God, Guns, and Glory. It's awesome, dude. No worries. No worries. I'm getting started a little late anyway, so we'll see. We'll see how to make that work. It's $40 to initiate a 1v1 debate. $40 to initiate or assign the debate prompt. Otherwise, I more or less pick it. If you want to revive a fallen operator, that's $60. I'm sorry. We might do it for $50 tonight. We'll see. I'm not really sure. The change operator screen name, $2, and timing it out is as on the screen. Now, I've been trying to figure out a bracket system, ladies and gentlemen, so that I could basically keep the flow going throughout the evening. So, Spaceman, if you're out there, let's get the start. Go ahead and throw out the link, and we'll get some people coming up here, get some debates going. I don't see our normal suspects out there tonight, and maybe they just got tired of waiting because I was having great fun over on the other side. It's fine. I'm like I said, I'm dragging ass, and I probably shouldn't even be doing this tonight, but what the fuck, we'll go until I can't. So, if you're into it, come along. Let's get to it. If you're not into it, that's fine too. It's all good in the hood. I'm trying, ladies and gentlemen, to have a sort of ladder, a tree, if you will, to do the bracket the debates so that they flow through, and the with an opportunity to to pay for the 1v1s and that sort of thing. Yeah, I know it is. I know. I did that so you guys could see that. If I move it over to the left side, I don't think you can read it. And also I have to be back in the right app to do that. I need to change the colors. The color palette just doesn't really, it's very difficult to read because of my background. Now what I could do is I can move further this way. Yeah. Close enough, right? No, you may not get a hug. No hugs. Is that not the panel link? Pretty sure I get. It may have changed since I went out and came back in. Stand by. Stand by. Stand by. Man, have I had great fun tonight. Try that one. Oh, I did put the wrong link in. That's my bad. My bad. It's there now. All right, so I'm going to drop this menu down. I will put it back up later. I'm also going to figure out a background for it. I'm actually hurting tonight, guys. I was up late last night. Obviously, I didn't go to bed. I didn't shut the show down until about 11:30, and then I stayed over on Andrew's channel for about another half hour or so. So I actually hit the bed about midnight, and I got up at 4:30 in the morning. So it's a little rough, man. It's a little rough. But if you guys want to come up and we can get into this stuff, and if not, that'll be totally fine. We can end it earlier. Yeah, I think I'm just going to add a background behind it. I just can't do it right this second. So. What's up, Cleaner? How are you, sir? Hello?
Good.
What's up, Cleaner? How are you, sir? Why is my...
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
For some reason, I've got extra sound that I should not be having. So...
is it coming through from my side? Let me try.
It was your side. I'm sorry. I thought it was my side. I apologize.
Is it echo or is it something in the background?
Yeah, it was basically I was hearing you talk, not just through my speakers, but through the stream as well. So we got it covered. It's covered now. We're good. We're good.
I got
So,
you. Just making sure it's not something I need to adjust on my side.
no, I think you're good, man. I think you're good. I appreciate you being concerned about it, though. That helps out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I'm actually surprised that so many people are here because of the. I heard that the other debate panel show went really, really early this morning. So that's okay.
VK. Yeah, VK went until 6 Central Time, almost.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. I can't do that. I honestly can't do that. And it's not. Look, tomorrow is my day off. Like I'm not gonna do anything tomorrow. Like I promise you, I'm literally going to. I'm probably going to clean a bunch of guns because they need to be cleaned, and that's the end of it. I'm not going to do anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not that I'm trying to be a jerk about it or anything. I'm just,
you got to have a day off, man.
Yeah, take a day off. But even with that said, even though I'm not really going to do anything tomorrow, I still have. I got a 4-year-old and a 14-year-old that I got to ride herd on. That takes energy, man.
Yeah.
Takes energy. So, yeah. I don't even know how many people we're going to have tonight. I like I said, I probably spent a little bit too much time over there talking to those guys, but it was great. It was a good conversation. I hated to leave it, especially since I got a debate with that guy. I kind of want to understand his style. So,
yeah.
But he and I will talk probably tomorrow, I guess, at some point. So. But yeah, so this is it. That's all we got.
Well, no, Imperius said he was going to come up too.
Imperius isn't going to debate. Imperius isn't going to debate. He's.
And Naomi said that she would debate if she could debate me on how awesome it is to be a mid.
To be a mid?
Yeah, like Naomi, since she's a mid.
Beth sent me some. Beth Mayhew sent me some topics. Let me find those. I probably should have canceled the stream for tonight, but I just can't. Yeah, I hate it when I can't. I hate to cancel anything. So I don't know why. I just do. I hate it.
Well, I could debate Cleaner and you could judge, and then I'll lose.
Why would you debate? Why would you lose a debate with Cleaner?
Well, he's smarter than I am.
I don't think so.
Okay. I got you. I understand this game. I've played this before. So, just to have a conversation? What do you guys think about Doge? And what do you think about what do you think about the points I made when I was over at Pentuples?
Well, they're fair points. It was a temporary system that was set up to go in, do an investigation, figure out what was going on with the system, provide some insight to the president so that he can make some command decisions that need to be made, and implement some savings for the taxpayers, which he said he was going to do. So as far as I'm concerned, I mean, it did its job. And maybe, in 2 to 4 years, we'll have to have it done again. Who knows? But, yeah.
Yeah. And the points that you were making are all, valid points, I guess, depending on what your worldview is. But I don't view Doge as anything other than a deflection so that the people who are elected can blame other people for things changing in government, because the last thing, politicians want is to take accountability for things that are actually happening. And so blaming Elon Musk, he's the perfect scapegoat, right? I mean, a lot of people like him, a lot of people hate him. He doesn't care. So he's basically just the guy that they blame for the things that they wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. That's an interesting point of view. So I actually have a very similar kind of take, and I hadn't really thought about it in this specific way. It is the kind of the way that I was looking at it, but it wasn't. But it wasn't really what it was. I hadn't really looked at it from the point of view of that it was that people feel like Elon bought his way through into government. Which, why would you do that? That seems really weird. Beth, you're not going to come debate? That's weird.
Three, 4, 5.
Yeah, I think you have to ask her nice, Grid.
I do?
Yeah. I mean, that's how women work, right? You're supposed to be nice to them or something?
I felt like it was. Oh, she won last week. Thought she'd keep it fair. Yeah.
You could make her a judge this week like you did with me last week.
I could do that. That seems like a suitable thing.
You know, I hate these games of Sudoku that don't understand multiple formats and multiple ways of winning. Like when they give you an extra hard match and there's like 4 numbers on the 9-grid boards, and you actually find number sets that fit that aren't their exact answer, but they actually work, they won't accept it for an answer. And it's like, no, that's not how that works. This works. Sorry, tangent.
Yeah, it's okay, man. That's interesting. I hadn't really considered that people would talk about Elon in such a way that they felt like, or I've not looked at it from the point of view that people are saying that Elon bought his way into government, because I have no idea why somebody would do that. Like I don't get that. You know what I mean? Like I just don't. It's so foreign to me. You know, that such a thing would even be.
Are you being facetious right now? You're joking, right? Right.
No, why would a billionaire buy his way into government when he can just like buy a country?
What? No,
he could buy Liberia. I mean,
Like,
you know,
the richest man on the planet could just buy himself a fucking island and be like, "Bye, guys."
Yeah, I mean, he can fucking buy Liberia. He could just like own Haiti. He could own Haiti.
Okay,
money is all of it.
Money is different than power, Grid, but they both can serve the same purpose for you. Like it's you can't buy the kind of power that Elon has amassed, and it's something that he couldn't just buy, right? He had to do other things in addition to spend money in order to get it.
I'll grant you that, but the thing is that he doesn't really have any power.
Oh no, he's got tons of influence. Are you kidding me?
No, hold on. He had influence regardless of whether or not he went to work for Doge.
Yeah, but now he's in the government, right? And so he can actually do things in the government, which is different than being an activist on the outside of government. They're two totally different roles.
But but the role that he's in, he doesn't have direct. I mean, there's nothing like he can't make law. Like I understand what you're saying. He can't make law, and he really can't influence Trump that much because he understands Trump understands him. He understands Trump. It's like if people think that he bought his way into that, I would find it very strange. Now I can say that he might have. His ego could be big enough that he went to Trump and said, "I'm the man for the job," and Trump's ego was big enough that he was like, "Yeah, I was going to reach out to you because you know I'm the best at knowing what's the best, and you're the best, so let's make it happen." I could see that.
I would even speak to influence on that and just say that Elon had enough influence because of his network of people that he could get in there and do that. But the thing that I find really, really interesting, though, whenever it comes to the whole billionaire in government thing, is he's the only one that's being overt, other than Trump, as far as being a billionaire businessman in government. All the other billionaires are behind the scenes trying to pull strings and lobbying. Why aren't they bitching about those people? Why are they complaining about the guys that are overt and showing you everything?
I mean, yeah.
Really?
Do you think maybe it's more of a swinging dick contest so that he can be like, you know, Bill, cool, you own Microsoft and all that, but I revamped the country, you Dumb son of a bitch.
Well, no, Bill's got a ton of influence too. Just
Well,
on
he
the
isn't-
other.
Well, but he didn't revamp the country.
Well, and I think really the thing is, if Elon wanted to say, like, I don't know, comparing, measuring sticks and whatnot, I mean, he could, but it would be to the overtness of what he did, because the whole world knows what he did, and almost no one knows what Bill Gates did, because Bill Gates from the shadows behind the scenes.
Oh, looks like Wicked Wally's going to join us soon. That's good.
Yeah. I'm sure the people are rolling in. The idea that I mean, well, look, I normally would have started this at like 8:30, but I just delayed because I was having fun over on the other panel, and I'm really punchy and I'm tired, and I was really pissed about my tech not working, especially since everything was working. When I left last night, I was like, everything's back to normal, and then I came in and it literally, like, everything was fucked up, everything. So
yeah, I think Beth's considering that offer to judge Grid. You got to be nice.
No,
you got to be nice to her.
Yeah, she can absolutely. Well, Beth is saying I should take the night off. I've had like 4 people tell me to take the night off, including my wife.
You should take the night off.
I'm just fucking stubborn. So that's what I am. I'm stubborn. A lot of people are doing something. I don't know if there's like a big, big show going on tonight. If Andrew's got some, or somebody's got something going on that I'm not aware of, but whatever.
I don't think I saw anything else scheduled for tonight from anybody.
Yeah, Andrew's got some kind of.
Oh no, it's the tomato.
That's
We have Free Will with JS Urban Adventures and Mr. Mister.
Horrible.
Oh yeah. I trolled JS on that because he was doing a debate prep stream.
It is going to be pretty terrible, but there are going to be a lot of people wanting to watch that dumpster fire. That might be. That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
I mean, both sides are going to have issues with their arguments. I was listening to some of what JS was saying, and a lot of his were conflating preferences from morals and ethics, theologies from, there was a lot of conflation of things, and it just kind of seems like if the other guy actually knows anything about fallacies, he's going to end up calling them all out, and JS is not going to like that. I haven't watched the other guy, to be fair, a whole hell of a lot, so I'm not real sure.
Mr. Mister is that Mr. Mister or Stepfire going at it tonight? I thought it was Mr. Mister. Maybe it's Stepfire.
Well, if it's Stepfire, I mean, if it's Stepfire, he's fairly familiar with the basic fallacies, so he'll probably make a few calls. He'll probably catch a few and make a few calls.
Yeah. So I think it might be Stepfire. I can't remember. It's Stepfire. It is Stepfire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry guys. I'm I'm tired. I'm beat.
Oh, you're good.
I'm coming down off my anger high earlier too.
I don't blame you.
And anyway, so Stepfire is actually a really good debater. I mean, he needs to polish some things up, but I think he's a better debater than JS. JS has not impressed me ever in a debate. So that's just me though.
So when he was doing his debate prep, I was trying to give him, like, he was asking his chat for, advice or whatever. And I was trying to give him the best advice that I have based on, because I've got debate notes that I have for the canned debates that you do on VK.
Yeah.
And I was sending him my stuff, and he accused me of using Chat GPT for my stuff. And I was like, you know what? Screw you. So I started sending him the worst possible debate prep notes and pretending like it was good advice. I gave him like the most pedestrian arguments because that dude pissed me off. Like it was wretched. I don't know. He doesn't like me at all. He doesn't have a sense of humor. Like some of these panel folks like just don't like trolls. I don't understand.
I just like laughing at them. Trolls are funny.
Yeah.
As long as they're not TOS bombing, they're just funny. Just laugh at them.
It's interesting because I'm a late adopter of ChatGTP, and I basically went straight to the paid version, and it's crazy. Like it's ridiculous. I guess maybe because I've heard everybody complain about it, and I've heard all of the nonsense about how, don't let ChatGTP write your debate notes, and I'm like, yeah, I could see that, because my last impression of ChatGTP was it was very frequently wrong, and it was basically just generate an answer that it assumed that you would be happy with.
That's
And
level, yeah.
And now it's like now I haven't tried any debate prompts or anything with ChatGTP, but I have done like video scripts, and I've had it write a what the fuck, Arduino script to make an Arduino do some stuff, and it knocked it out of the park, dude. Like, I mean, it's crazy.
It's pretty good at coding. It can actually help with a lot of things like Siemens PLCs, with RS Logix 5000, 500, ABV PLCs, all kinds of really cool coding stuff. It can help out quite a bit.
Yeah.
Where it falls apart though is when you move from empirical data into subjective human.
Yeah, I haven't tried that.
Yeah,
but
it really falls apart.
But
Yeah.
I tell you, as far as like being in the interface, the interaction, dude, is crazy. Like, it's like talking to a person. Like, except it's a person that's polite and understands what you're, or if it's not clear on something, say, hey, I'm not really clear on that. What are you trying to say? It's really interesting. And the other day, I think I talked about this the other night. I don't know if you guys were here, but so I get this text from Amex saying that, hey, there's this strange charge on your card, and I'm like, man, you're probably wrong. And so I log into my account, and because I have weird spending patterns, so I don't always trust what they think.
Right.
So I log in, and I'm like looking through this stuff, or pardon me, I log in, and they're talking about, man, I think I may have closed the window here. Let me find this. Sorry guys, I'm not kidding when I say I have had like zero sleep. So anyway, so I have this thing going on, and I think that at first I thought I was talking to like a real human, but the more it goes on, the more I'm like, this is an AI, and this is an AI that is interacting with me like a human, saying all of the things that I expect it to say. And this is crazy. Like, this is nuts.
You essentially just described Discord customer service.
Yeah, this was Amex at customer service, because initially I thought, well, I'm getting spoofed, right? Somebody's telling me that my card has been stolen, but my card hasn't really been stolen.
Right. That way they could try and get your account info or something like that.
Yeah. I never believed it. And so I came back into I called customer service directly, and sure enough, it told me that there was one credit card charge, suspicious credit card charge. There was actually 7. It said, well, there's 7 charges. Did you make these? I'm like, no, I didn't make them. And they killed the card and did everything, all the normal stuff. But it was, if this is where customer service is going, AI customer service is going, it's going in the right direction. Like, it absolutely handled everything perfectly.
Yeah.
Now, on the other side of that, I was interacting with a a bank's AI customer service, and it was the most horrible thing ever. I answered the question like 8 times. When I would enter in the number, that it would say enter in your PIN number or whatever, and hit enter. It would go forward, and I would enter it in, hit enter, and then it would say, "Sorry, I don't understand that. Please try again." I'm like, what the fuck? This is dumb.
I think that, like, when it comes down to the AI that these things are using, it's really not AI. What it is imputational data that it's taking from you. Like you're speaking to it or you're typing text, and they have cues and triggers that are written for the different words so that it can impute and understand. And I think the banks just haven't invested enough in it, which just goes to show that the banks don't really give a shit, just like they never have.
Banks actually want you to go to the bank. When you get to the bank, they try and sell you financial products. They do it. The banks want you to go to the bank. The credit card companies never want to interface with you in person at all. So they're working with AI. It's clear to see what the motivations are, right? Like the credit card company never wants to see you ever. The bank, they want you to go to the bank.
You're a customer at the bank.
Hey, we could save you. We could get you into a money market account at 4%. It's really good, and whatever. So,
the bank can't launder money unless you give it to them.
That's true. That's true. And they like cash. They really want cash these days.
Yeah. And the credit card companies have hundreds of thousands of employees that are working for their different customer service representative departments. If they can get AI working so that they can start downsizing those from 100,000 that's costing them 10 million a year to something that's like 10,000 a year, they're going to do it.
Hey, I heard Ben is a wee man. Kind of like that wee Todd guy.
Yep.
I heard they look and talk exactly alike.
Yep.
Wee Todd, the little guy. Wee Todd. Okay.
Wait, Cleaner, are you suggesting that my bank does not have a special regard for me? Because I was told they don't just pre-approve everybody for diamond status.
Anson just claimed Philistine status.
No, Philistine. Yeah.
Philistine, yeah. I told you I'm fucking tired, dude.
That means I'm uncultured.
Oh, are you uncultured now?
Yeah, I'm uncultured. Yeah.
Fucking liar.
I'm from Alabama. I got a trailer park culture. That's what I am. So
he is the second least cultured person in this chat. Me being the first, and Anson a far distant second.
I don't even know what cultured is by today's standard,
Well, I mean, you gotta, walk a mile in a woman's shoes before you figure that out, Cleaner.
Well, that's never going to happen. I have size 15 and they cap out women's shoes at like 11 or some shit.
But you're a big guy, Cleaner.
Yeah, I am. 6'5", 315 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm a fairly large individual.
Yeah, you're the same build as my older brother, man. Yep.
Man, I don't know if I can. I wish I had what I need is Michelle or Tiki Tac to come on here, who are they've got the keys, and I just go home and go to bed. which home is 30 yards that way.
Perfect setups,
That's why I always like it when people don't understand when I tell them my commute to work is a nightmare. I'm like, work's right over that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, oh, look at me. I'm at work on the weekend.
Yeah. So I was at since we're apparently not going to do any actual debating, that's fine. Well, I like chill stream.
Cleaner, we can have the pen and pencil debate if you want. I'm pro pencil in that argument.
I don't know. You guys probably don't have any experience with like golf carts or anything. I hate golf carts. They're the dumbest thing on the fucking planet. And they are always, there's always something wrong with them, right? Like there's always something broken, or the clutch is going bad, or the fuel line's got against the exhaust and it's melted, or what the fuck, Eric? They're just pain in the ass. And
tires rub the wheel wells in a weird way.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. So,
there's a laundry list.
There's just a pain in the dick. And so, but they're a necessary evil of so many activities. And one of them is shooting shotguns, because you have to carry all those damn shells. You got to have at least two. You got to have your shotgun, your backup shotgun, and you go down this cart path out in shooting sporting clays, way out in the woods, and nobody wants to carry all that shit. So last year, I noticed that I thought my golf cart was alone and just being weak and underpowered, and I was like, whatever.
It was just putting along.
Yeah, it just putts along, and it won't climb the hills. And so, and literally, like you go to climb this hill, and you'd have to have one guy get out and walk beside the fucking golf cart. Like, why do I have a fucking golf cart? And so this year, I was like, you know what? Fuck this. So I got what they call a big block engine, which is so the original engine's 280 cc's or something. I put a 498 in. So put the bigger motor in. It literally double the horsepower, and way more torque. And it doesn't go any faster because it turns the same RPM, but it doesn't give two shits about how much weight you put on top of it. Right? Like, it just doesn't care.
I was kind of wondering if you were towing a little trailer, like how like Little Red Wagon, but maybe a little bigger.
But
I mean, it sounds like it's a lot more up to par now.
Yeah, up to par. See, golf cart. That's perfect. He's making a golf reference there, and so
he's punny.
Today was the first time we had taken it since the retrofit. And so first thing is like, nobody was ready for what this golf cart has become. We were passing people, and they're like, "The hell, man!" It's like, what happened? And I'm like, it's okay. And so then we did the sporting clays course, and people are getting off of the golf cars, and we just right up, and so I didn't think anybody would really notice, because I'm not saying anything about it. It's a fucking golf cart. Who cares? So I loaded on the trailer, and this guy comes over and he says, "Is that you motor swapped your golf cart?" And I'm like, yeah, I did actually. And he's like, "Yeah, I've been thinking about that." I'm like, I'm like, let me guess. That thing won't climb a hill to save its life. And he's like, no. He's like, every time I go this, and I know exactly where he's talking about. Every time I try and go up that hill, you got to, if anyone's with me, they got to get out and walk. I'm like, yeah, I understand. And and so he's like, "What'd you spend?" And I told him, and he's like, "Oh, it's not bad." He's like, I may have to do that. And I'm like, you need to, because your golf carts suck, man. I mean, this thing is like no power at all. And it is pretty funny. I don't know. My wife thinks it's hilarious that I can't leave anything alone. Nothing.
Well, if you're not happy with it the way it came, why should you sit there and be unhappy?
Right. Exactly.
Especially if you can do something about it.
Exactly.
There's
Cleaner, do you have a moral defense for pens yet? Do you have a moral argument for pens yet, Cleaner?
Yeah, we won't be killing trees. I mean, like, if you're out there and you can't do anything about so much crap, and you have like the one or two things at home that are your hobbies, and you can fix them up a little and make them a little more fun, like, why not?
Hold on, Cleaner. You just tried to drop that as a defense and walk past it. I'm not satisfied with that, thinking you can just drop a pro pen argument there.
Am I going to have to look down on you like the Brady Bunch group? Like,
Well, you're cleaner right there. You are presupposing there that killing trees is a negative.
All right. Darth Grumpy Dad. No, these are gas golf carts. The electric ones actually have a lot of power. If you put a new, like, you have to. The problem is you have to spend a shit ton of money on an electric cart to make it badass. You can put. I mean, people are putting like lithium batteries in it and these massive speed controllers and rewound motors, and it's so much money that
on top
literally is gay. Like literally, you would have to be a flaming homosexual to spend that much money on a golf cart. Just saying, that's the way it is. There's nothing wrong with, you know, if your electric golf cart dies and you buy cool batteries. Okay, yeah, put cool batteries in it, whatever. But if you're going to go out of your way, I mean, if you're going to go out of your way to hot rod an electric vehicle, just go ahead and have the surgery done, man. Just go ahead.
Yeah, I actually helped a buddy change the engine out on his. We had to extend the frame a bit, which, you know, on golf carts, not such an issue. You can just weld metal on it. Yeah. It's not a car, you know. And we put a 4-cylinder Kubota on it. Diesel engine. Man.
The next thing I'm going to do, and I'm like toying. So let me tell you how bad this has gotten with the golf cart thing. I put the high-speed gears in my golf cart. Now I can't actually use them the way that they should be used yet. But the next evolution is if anything breaks on this thing at all, is I'm pulling the single cylinder motor out, putting a V-twin in it. We're going from 200, and at that point we'll have gone from 290 cc's up to 670 cc's, and from 7 horsepower to 32 horsepower. And I'll do the high speed gears, so it should do 30 miles an hour. So it'll be legit at that point. It does 17 now. It does 17 miles.
It doesn't have a mechanical governor on it, does it?
It does. It's governed to 7. Yeah, I hit the governor at 17, 18 miles an hour.
All right.
Which, by the way, in a golf car is exciting.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Golf cars don't turn. You know, like
do they have a limit at the range you go to at the skeet range?
I mean, I'm sure they do. I didn't know about it.
Well, you're gonna find out about it when you vamp it up.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when they come over and they're like, "Sir, you're gonna have to leave." I'll figure it out then. But that
Grid, I don't know how much it costs to insure you, but I have a feeling it's probably higher than whatever amount you quote me.
It's funny because I actually have to talk to the insurance guy this year, and my wife is literally like, "You can't mention that you're a pilot. You can't talk about the airplane."
You know, from a risk assessment standpoint, you are someone who, no offense, we would probably be labeled economically undesirable to insure.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, there's just certain things that you just don't tell them, you know?
Yeah, we just don't have that conversation. That does not come up in conversation very often unless I bring it up, and I'm stupid, but that's a whole realm of stupid I never venture into.
Wally, what kind of insurance work do you do?
My company works in travel insurance.
No, but like not necessarily like the company, but like what is your, like, what cog are you in the wheel?
He keeps the computers running.
He's the one that crosses
I deal with a lot of the clients who are from like volunteer organizations, NGOs, like universities. So you have a lot of like overseas study abroad programs and volunteer missions. So we work with their insurance as a part of their risk assessment process, basically.
Okay, so you're like an analyst of some kind. You're not in sales, and you're not an actuary, but you're like data collection for the actuary to be able to have data points to plug in somewhere.
Yeah, we deal with like, college students who are, it's baby's first time out of the country. So we have to kind of help prepare them for international travel where they're going. Some people play it very safe their very first time out of the country. Other people decide to go to Cuba or Africa for some reason.
Yeah, it's not happening for me. So Silver Ogre, yes, I have insurance on the airplanes, but insurance companies don't talk to each other for some stupid ass reason. So even though I have insurance on airplanes, boats, motorcycles, all of that, the life insurance people have no fucking clue. And they're not gonna, unless one of you guys out there right now open your big fat mouth. So let's keep that down.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. I mean, they're so lazy; they aren't going to do the research anyway.
No bundle deal. Actually,
you know what I'm convinced one of the biggest hazards is in certain Asian countries is Australians. Just Australians who go completely rogue on vacation, because when they go to like Bali or Thailand, like they get down causing trouble everywhere they go out there.
Sorry, guys. It's easy to get me off task tonight. Yeah, probably more than normal. So what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I have to get, I mean, I don't have to get life insurance, but, I'm supposed to. And it's part of the new trust that we're putting together, too. I have to, for the trust, I have to have life insurance, which I've never had before. I've never really cared before, but now it matters. So
you find a way to do the pre-tax input?
I mean, that's part of it. The biggest thing is because so it's all how you do things, right? And so like when I built my businesses, I didn't care anything about having life insurance or putting them in the trust or anything like that, because if it failed, it failed. And I had balls the size of 60-pound mortars. So the idea of me actually failing never entered into my mind. And even if I did, I felt like I had plenty of time to rebuild. And I never took any debt. The entire time that I had the shop, the most debt that I carried was on a credit card, and it topped out at like 15 grand. I never carried more debt than that. I paid cash for everything. And if we couldn't do it, we didn't buy it. And so when we, all the race cars we pay cash for, all of the transporters we pay cash for, everything we pay cash for. And that was the way I kind of had to do it, because you walk into a bank and they say, what business are you in, Mr. Grid One? And I'm like, well, I rent race cars to people. And they're like, it was nice to meet you, sir. Have a great day. And so I just never, I never really cared about it. But now, because there's a very real the reality now is that instead of building a business, we're buying businesses, and when we're buying them, we're not paying like $100 grand for one. Right now, I don't think either of these deals are going to end up going through, just because of the way things are shaping up. I mean, it's just too many negatives to go forward. I think we'll see, but I could, in the next 180 days, I could be right at 4 million in debt. I could carry 4 million in debt in the next 180 days.
I get what you mean.
I could go from literally almost zero debt, to 4 million in debt. So if I buy the businesses, and so then all of the things that we have, those suddenly become assets that could be attached. So to prevent that, before we do any of those deals, we put those in I put everything in a trust anyway, but we're moving more things into trust. Like all the properties are going into trust. The rent that the properties receive, that goes into a separate account where that money is then transferred into the trust once everything's paid out. So there's never any money there either. Even you couldn't attach that bank. I mean, even if you attached to that bank account, there wouldn't be any. You wouldn't be able to get anything because the only money that's ever there is enough to pay for the pay whatever bills for
that month.
Yeah.
I operate similarly.
You know what else can be good to have in a trust cleaner is the land you can use for renewable tree planting to supply the lumber industry, which minimizes negative economic impact by using pencils.
But see, that wouldn't really make much sense, you know?
I hate pencils.
Putting all that money into there, you would necessarily have to use quite a bit of trees to make the money.
Well, we already do that. Well, that's the thing is like when people use new paper products or new wood-based products, essentially like you're placing a market demand for more lumber to be available to make those products. So of course you're going to plant trees as a renewable resource, not to cut down viable forest land.
Right, but you're talking about
meanwhile, you have pens, which, let's face it, they make, you try to recycle plastic, you just make more pollution than making new plastic
being used. Like you're adding a presupposition to it, though. You're presupposing that people are necessarily going to increase the supply of lumber over time because there are pencils, and that doesn't always happen.
Well, you were presupposing that killing trees was a bad thing, and it's actually not when you're dedicating land to renewable tree supplies to keep the lumber industry running. Because regardless of pens, like even with pencils, it's like regardless, you need lumber for a damn lot of things aside from just pencils cleaner. We tend to build houses with lumber.
I like the write in the rain pens that write anywhere. They write upside down. They write in space. They write everywhere.
It's the ones that come with the little pressure capsules, so they keep the ink right at the tip, no matter what.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know how they do it, but and the paper is treated somehow. It's like some weird, whatever it is, formulation that the paper doesn't. You can write on it with pencil or pen. But it won't smear. It doesn't, it's pretty cool stuff. I really like it. It's on the expensive side, but that's fine.
You couldn't find a pencil in my house, even though I'm taking this position.
What position are you taking, Wally?
Oh, I was taking the position that pencils are more moral than pens.
Yeah, I agree with that. Specifically, mechanical pencils with a 0.5 size millimeter lead.
Barbarian 0.7. What's wrong?
No, that's awful. It's harder to erase with the 0.7. With the 0.5, you can just totally get rid of all. No. When you're in accounting and you do work papers, right? You want to be able to erase all of the evidence.
Why would accountants ever put anything on paper? It all needs to go into spreadsheets that can be dissolved in a second.
No. You got to do everything on paper, man. That's the way to go. All this digitizing nonsense. Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous.
The other thing I did today at the range is I have. So I didn't know this about the range that we go. This is a range we go to once a year, at least once a year, sometimes twice a year for various events. And I didn't realize that they had a pistol and rifle range there, as well as the shotguns, the Clays courses. So during the lunch break, which obviously they ran late, they always run late. I took a. I was like, I told my kid, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go shoot pistols. If you guys want to go, great. And he's like, he went and asked some of the other kids on his team, and they're like, hey, you want to go shoot some pistols instead of just standing around for another hour while everybody, because we had already eaten, and they're like, yeah, I'll go shoot pistols. So we went down and we're all shooting pistols in the middle of the shotgun match, and then of course as soon as we were supposed to be on our stations, we were there and everything was great. So they're fans. They have gun ranges. Yes, Spence. When I grew up, we didn't have gun ranges here. I can't even remember.
Put out in the backyard and go shoot.
Yeah, you just go to the backyard. You go to you go to your uncle's house or whatever.
Yeah, you go over to your granddad's farm. That's what I did.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody, and even now here, it's still really weird. People have a very strange reaction to the idea of a gun range.
Well, if you go to the more liberal places or the cities, that's like the enclave where they put you so that you're segregated from everybody else, right? It's separate but equal treatment.
It's very interesting because I was talking to an author friend of mine the other day about this, and I don't know why I keep forgetting to bring it up, but one of the things he says is he makes the observation that if you grew up in a city, any major city, or on the East Coast, there are two things that you have no fucking clue about. Number one is how common firearms truly are in America. And number two is how big America actually is. Because if you live on the East Coast, for example, and you live in New York, you can be in Maryland on like a 3-hour train ride.
Well, it's not even just that. When you compact all those people tightly together, it creates a collectivist mindset inside their head. But also geographically,
but this is just the idea that they can't comprehend the concept of if you get in a car in Detroit and you drive to Arizona, that is a 36-hour drive if you drive it straight with somebody to take a shift while you're sleeping. I mean, it's crazy. And they have no concept of this. It's very much a European concept. It's the same way. And I didn't think about this until James mentioned it. And he's like, have you ever had anybody from like England or France visit? And I'm like, yeah, of course. And he's like, what is their first reaction? Oh, exactly how big everything is and how far apart everything is. Especially if they go to Texas or Oklahoma or Colorado or anywhere in the West, like in New Mexico, anywhere in the West, they're like, this is fucking insane that you can drive an entire day and not even be out of a state.
Well, I had a bud that came to visit me here in Houston, and it took us about 35-40 minutes to get to the restaurant that we were meeting at, for him from his hotel and me from where I live. I picked something right in the middle so we both have about the same travel time. And he said, I can't believe it took 35 minutes for us to get there. And if I had just gone to you, it would have been almost an hour and a half. He said, that's ridiculous. So we don't ever, if we're going to go somewhere, it's like 5 minutes. We walk outside our house, walk down the street, there we are.
Right. Well, and that was another thing. So I had some friends of mine from the UK, and they came over, and they were, it was in Texas actually. And what was the name of that fucking city? It's got a weird name, Waxahachie. So in Waxahachie, Texas. And so they flew into, I want to say Dallas Love Field, right? And I picked them up. I drove down from Colorado and picked them up there. It's a 14-hour drive down from Colorado. I picked them up at the airport, and they're like, okay. They get in, everything's great. They're shocked at how big the fucking truck is, right? It's like a full-size dually crew cab. And they're like fucking shocked at how fucking big this truck is. And I'm like, yeah, you're going to see a lot of these. Don't worry. Yeah. and so we're driving, and we drove for like an hour, and they're like, "Are we there yet?" And I'm like, "Brother, we have another 2 hours to go." Like, what are you talking about? Are we there yet? Like, we're not even out of Dallas yet.
Yeah. Yeah, my bud said when he was coming out of Bush Intercontinental, he said he thought he was going to a whole nother city.
Yeah.
He was like, when we were leaving, I thought we left Houston and we're going to another city. I was like, no, man, that's just one little speck.
Yeah, it's and so
Yeah.
so
Maybe it was just me, but when I was down there, it felt like at least getting between places, the traffic was always like non-existent. Like getting in and out of like Dallas was very, very easy. Getting between cities was very easy. Now you could have a lot of traffic like within like Wichita, Dallas, other places I was, but like for some reason, like getting to places, it was very smooth every time.
every time I've been to Texas, I've always been really surprised at how either the drivers are either like super polite or super fucking rude. Like there's like really no in between.
Yeah.
And
In the city, it tends to be a lot ruder.
Yeah. When I first went to Texas, when I first started going to Texas, and this has been like fucking decades ago, the farmers would actually pull over. They would pull like if you were coming up on a farm, like a farm truck pulling a hay wagon or a stock truck or something like that, stock trailer.
Mm-hmm.
If you came up on them and you were doing 55 and they were doing like 35, in most places in the country, you're fucked. You're behind that guy for the next 45 minutes to an hour.
Yep.
In Texas, they would literally pull over off the road and let you go by. It was the craziest thing ever. And I drove down through Texas. Was it Texas? Yeah, it was Texas. And they had a border inspection. It's not a border inspection. It's just like a border patrol thing. Checkpoint. Yeah, thank you. And I was like, I'm still in fucking Texas, right? Like I haven't gone that far. And they're like, yeah, you are. And it's like, and it was a $10 fee to go through this checkpoint. And they let me write a fucking check. I was like, are you kidding me? Because I don't care. I didn't carry any cash. I was like, do you take cards? I'm like, nope. I'm like, well, I mean, all I got are I got checks and I have a card. I don't have any cash in the truck. And they're like, yeah, check's fine. It's cool. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. But
nope.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was surreal, really. But I find that a lot of people who are from like New York, basically anywhere on the East Coast above Virginia, they have no fucking clue how big this country is. Not even the slightest little bit.
Well, if you're living in a big city like that, you have everything you need really within walking distance. Like, so when I was 18, I took a road trip to San Diego, and it was a massive culture shock because I was more from like the country life, and I went to a big city and mingled with those kind of people. Realized that they were all sexual degenerates or whatever, but also I talked to them, and
they taught
like,
you a thing or two.
What?
They taught you a thing or two?
Yeah, well, yeah, no, they did. Yeah, like public displays of things that are normalized now that didn't used to be. But but I talked to one guy and he basically explained to me that he never really had a reason to leave like the block that he was on, and he had spent years on this one block.
Mm-hmm.
And that blew my mind. Like, how could you possibly like box yourself in like that? I mean, it makes these people go crazy.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's the ultimate echo chamber, right? Like you see the same people every single day.
Yeah.
And so I know people like that, kind of in New York. You know that in the apartment that we own technically it's New Jersey, but in the apartment we own in New Jersey, there are people that do not leave that little area unless it's like an expedition. They treat it like an expedition. They treat it like they're going to almost like a foreign country.
It's caging people in like zoo animals, and they become neurotic like women, you know, because I mean
they don't own cars, so they
Yeah.
don't care anything about cars. I mean, you make whatever law you want about cars, they don't care. They don't have guns because they never go anywhere to shoot. They don't do anything. They don't care about anything
because their world is very small.
Well, they're fucking hamsters.
Yeah, their world is one block. They like and it's like
everything's walking distance. Everything.
They're such a small, compact area where they have everything.
Kissy Cat has put the
Oxo donated
down.
$50. Super chat. Wally v Cleaner. Pen
She wants
v
to hear the
pencil.
arguments, huh?
JK.
She wants some blood.
It's bedtime, but here's your gift.
I was
Emoji.
this close.
Saluting face emoji.
It's time to go to bed.
Does this mean I get to judge?
No, Kissy Cat also said, "Just kidding, it's bedtime." But here's the grip.
Did she really? I didn't hear that part. I didn't read the whole thing. It is bedtime. I'm fucking tired.
Yeah, Cleaner v Wally, I'll judge.
Cleaner almost
We'll
thought
go
I
five-
really
we'll go
came to
5
make it
minutes
work
for that.
tonight.
Thank you very much, Kissy Cat. I really appreciate it. And I'm sorry, guys, that I'm such a drag ass tonight.
Well, Grid, this is what happens when you go get yourself burnt out on another panel's retardation before you host your own panel's retardation.
Well, actually, let me tell you, Wally, I got up at 4:30 this morning. I was on a little late last night, not too late. I logged on here, and I was trying to pull those guys over here because I think they'll be like super valuable contributors.
Yeah.
But they're all like, "Nah, we're fine for right now." Yeah, we're gonna have to have are city dwellers actually hamsters, and why, and who should change the poop tray? So we're gonna have to have that argument.
City dwellers are 110% rodents. Otherwise, the Mouse Utopia experiments wouldn't have been so valid.
So right, yeah, we proved out the concept.
That's crazy too, though. You mentioned rodents, and I just thought of something. This couple that moved in next door to us, right? And this is speaking of something Grid mentioned earlier, but also what Wally's saying right now with rodents. So they had never seen a possum just walk up on their lawn, and they had never had a neighbor just pull out a 44 and blow it away right in front of them. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? This is like Tuesday.
Yeah.
It happens. These guys come out in the morning, and sometimes they get stuck out in areas where they're not familiar. The sun comes up, they can't see, they don't know where they're going. You don't know if they're rabid because they're out during the day and they shouldn't be, so put one in their head. You got to be safe. And they're like, what the hell are you doing? Do we have to call the police? I'm like, go ahead. They called the cops out on me. And the cop was like, what do you want me to do? Clean it up?
I don't understand that reaction because here's the thing. I said, I remember a couple years ago, I was talking on the phone with this girl down in Texas, Cleaner, and I suddenly, just as she's in the middle of casually talking as she got back to her house, I suddenly just hear the click-clack of a shotgun, and she goes, "Don't mind me, there's a coyote outside, I gotta go shoot it, just hold on a minute." And at the time, I'm like, this might be the most turned on I have ever been by a woman.
Yeah, she's a keeper, man. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no,
that might have been the most turned on I had ever been in a conversation, is a woman going, "I'm going to go shoot a coyote." I'm like, okay.
These people had just moved from California.
Yeah.
And I've probably never even heard a gun go off in their life, but they sure as hell didn't have one like 12 feet away from them. You know, it's like,
yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's like people get that initial culture shock and they don't realize just how different, how common some things are till it lands right on their doorstep, almost literally.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, that's the thing. Like here, you absolutely have to do that with the possum population because they get out of hand real quick, real quick. If you don't cull them when they start showing up in neighborhoods and in human areas, They
I wish the
really
Texans had done a better job with their armadillo population because they've made their way to Tennessee now.
Yeah, they've been in Alabama for a while, last decade or whatever. Man, them things are annoying. They get all in the road and stuff, and you got to run over them.
Yeah,
they were getting pretty bad out near the Ozona area in Texas, towards El Paso, about 3.5, 4 hours east of El Paso. They were getting bad in that area for a while. They were on the freeway, and people would be driving over them at 80 miles an hour, having car accidents.
Do you know what the one thing? Well, there are two things that really shock me about Texas, that that really like is so polarizing right now that it's the battle nobody's heard of, is the bobcat and coyote issue, and they're paying bounties on bobcats. Paying bounties on and all of these fucking people that don't live in Texas are like, "You're killing the bobcats! How dare you!"
I would like to counter that problem with my proposed solution: domesticated security patrol hippos.
Well, no, the problem isn't the bobcats and the coyotes. It's that we've cleaned out the wolf population. We need to replace the wolf population back to what it should be, and then that'll fix that because they won't be able to eat as much.
I don't know. So that's what they thought in Colorado too, and they're not the wolves. The wolves could give a shit less about the coyotes and the bobcats and the things up there. The wolves are too busy decimating the elk and moose population to give a shit. And unfortunately, as they move into Wyoming, the bison population, they're literally like Terry Bison Ranch is about to start putting I talked to the manager there a couple of 3 years ago when they first started having problems with the wolves after they've been reintroduced, and everybody said, "Well, they're only going to reintroduce like 4 of them," and sure, yeah, it's not like they don't fuck like rabbits, and so the
moose are probably a bigger hazard to humans than wolves are.
The wolves aren't a hazard to humans. The wolves are a hazard to like all of the game animals and the bison.
Yeah.
But the problem is that what Colorado was sold, then what the bill of goods that Colorado was sold was that they were because Colorado has a massive coyote population, and it's a big problem. And I used to shoot the shit out of them. I one night with NVGs and a suppressor, I took out like 10 coyotes, and I never had to move more than 100 yards.
Now, have you ever been hunting in a place with a wolf population grid?
I mean, the only wolf population at that time was in northern Colorado where I was, but again, the wolves didn't give a shit about the coyotes. All they cared about was the game animals, because it's so much food and it's so easy for them to bring them down. There's no real competition anymore. And the elk, I mean, it's just killing the elk population, and everyone in Colorado is pissed about it. But they'll make their way down to Texas. Don't worry, they're going to get down there. And when they do, I don't think it'll hurt the bobcats. I don't think it's going to hurt the coyotes nearly as bad as it's going to hurt, the cattle population.
I gotta say, I mean, Tiki Tech actually mentioned this in chat, but there's another element here in Texas that's really bad. And a lot of people don't know how dangerous they are. But if you get a pack of wild pigs, they will take out a pack of wolves.
I don't know. I don't know if that's as big a deal as he suggests. Because when I was down there, most of the women I saw were skinny.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, no, we got that real bad in Alabama too.
You have a big enough pack of them, Wally.
Alabama, I would believe you have a big wild pig problem down there.
No, it actually they've had an open bounty on pigs in three major areas in Texas for a very long time, and a temporary bounty right around Christmas time, a little bit after, in almost the entire state. on wild pigs because they've just been tearing people's land up, tearing up their farms, destroying different types of cattle production areas, going into turkey houses, ruining the walls. I mean, just like it's insane, man.
I mean, the damage the pigs do is crazy. It's they're not only do they obviously they kill other animals, but they tear the shit out of everything, fence rows, everything, and it's just nuts how destructive they are. It's really crazy.
And people don't know how smart they are either.
Yeah, they are pretty smart.
They will have one of them run into an electric fence and hit it and tag the wire and bend it and back out, and another one will hit that same spot, and they'll keep hitting it until they break that wire, and then they all go through and just munch everything inside. They're smart, man.
Yeah, and you have no idea how many wild pigs have been killed in Texas. I literally know people that shoot wild pigs every other night.
Mm-hmm. I got a buddy that does it. He's got a little Huey, and him and a buddy of his. That's pretty much.
Oh yeah, the helicopter pig tour thing is ridiculous.
Oh, he's not even doing tours. Him and his buddy just go over King Ranch and a number of other ranches and just obliterating pigs all day long. And they've got 3 crews of guys with trailers running around picking the pigs up for the bounties.
You know, I've actually seen. So when I was in Arizona down near the border a few years ago, Seth Spence, and I saw javelina. I'd never seen them wild before, and I actually saw them, and I was just wondering, you know, if I should just shoot them. And I didn't think. I mean, I was seriously going to shoot them, but I was at a racetrack, so I was like, well, they may not like it, but I didn't realize there was such a big problem.
Yeah, Alabama started doing some nighttime hunting, legalized nighttime hunting for pigs, which is really cool.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
So in Tennessee, we had a problem with. So we have a wild pig problem, but what was happening is that the guide services, and I'll use that term in its very loosest form, would actually capture and release these pigs into other areas so that they could, and they would let those herds grow so that they would rotate through, and so they were making a business out of it. So then the state, which was just dumb as fuck, said, "Hey, you can't be on a guided tour or a guided hunt for wild pig, and you can only hunt." And the laws around hunting wild pigs in Tennessee are insane. And so, fortunately, most of that's been contained to East Tennessee. It's far from me, but they really have not. They really. I mean, we used to have a really big problem with it, and now it's. But the problem they have with it now is that a lot of the pigs are in the national parks where you can't hunt them at all.
Yeah,
you can't shoot them there. So, but fortunately, on the other side of that, we have bears, and bears don't like the wild pigs, and the bear population has been surging, I think, because of a steady diet of pork. Matter of fact, we don't normally see bears where I'm at, and there was one, no shit, walking down the fucking street.
Yeah, we get them here in North Alabama too, which is kind of crazy. There'll be a bear in the city every once in a while.
Yeah, they just wander around, see what's up.
It's so rare in southern New Hampshire that when it happens in most areas, it will actually make the news.
Yeah,
because the one around here, there's really not much of a bear problem anywhere in New Hampshire, because unless they are extremely thirsty in the summer and they're looking for water, bears in New England have really learned to stay away from humans.
Yeah. Well, most bears, I think, are that way.
Yeah.
They don't want to be around us.
Well, that's what happened with the wolf population.
They're the parents of the animal world. They don't want to be around us. They bitch every time we get near them.
Well, for some reason, wolves and bears kind of learn that the bears and wolves that get too close to humans have been naturally selected out of the gene pool in those cases. But for some reason, with coyotes, that has never sunk in.
You know, the thing about coyotes is that they're not particularly smart.
Mm-mm.
They have good instincts and they fuck a lot. And if the population within a given area drops below a certain point, the females will go into heat more often and have larger litters.
Yep.
Which is insane. Like, it's literally adaptive.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing is I think
Never
scavenging.
wrote that into the computer program of society is fucking evil.
Well, I mean, whoever was doing it knew what they were doing. Coyotes do serve a purpose as far as carrion beasts. I mean,
Well, that's the thing is I think in general I don't think scavenger animals really can learn to stay away from humans because they view humans as a food source because there'll be other dead shit around humans.
But the interesting thing is that people, at least in my area, they're just now starting to get tired of the coyotes. There for a while, they were like, they look too much like my dog. I don't want to shoot it in the face. And I'm like, shoot it in the face, shoot its buddy in the face, shoot all of them in the face, and leave them for the rest of them to eat because they fucking will. Because if not, they'll eat your dog. They'll kill your dog. They'll kill your cats. They'll kill everything.
Best way to kill a coyote from what I've experienced, the best way to kill a coyote to keep other coyotes away, gut shot.
Yeah,
because it excretes the fear pheromone all around wherever it runs after that, and no coyote wants to be anywhere near that for a while.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man.
No, it's been my experience that coyotes will run away from you, right? They're not like wolves.
Individually, they will.
Yeah, you can just scare them away. But when they're in a group, man, I've seen them take down cows before and all kinds of stuff when they're in a group.
Yeah.
Well, the stupid thing that coyotes realize that humans apparently fucking don't is if you threaten a coyote or you threaten a bunch of coyotes, and I've only heard about this, I've not witnessed it, but the coyotes do the same thing to humans that they do to big dogs, and that is they'll send one coyote out there to lure that dog or that human into where a bunch of them jump them
into the ambush. Yep.
And they're not smart. They have really good instincts.
Yeah.
Like I've literally watched a coyote run into the same fucking electric fence like 8 fucking times. Like it just didn't get the hint. But I've watched the same group of coyotes take down one after the other of like, what are those big ass fucking dogs? The big white hair, long hair dogs. We have them all over here. We have a ton of them here.
Glenn's down in the chat requesting that we turn the conversation.
He needs a link? Oh.
Yeah, he's requesting we turn the conversation DJ.
So yeah, Spaceman will get him. We can't turn the conversation DJ. I got to go to bed at some point.
But I mean, we could turn a DJ until then.
Yeah. I don't necessarily believe that coyotes will actually kill humans, or they plot your downfall. But I do believe that they will attack you, and to scare you off, right?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to keep an eye on them because you never know when you're going to see that one coyote building a catapult, and you don't know.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
No, they've actually killed a couple of kids in West Texas, but the kids were running out by themselves close to the after hours, and the coyote came out in pack, and they got the kid, and it sucks, but yeah, they'll get kids, but they don't. I mean, anybody that's normal size, they're not going to get you. Midgets, you're done. You're done. Don't go near them.
Just stand tall, Wally. Stand tall.
Yeah. Stand near a Viking.
With interesting, I mean, look, I've shot a bunch of those damn. Them and prairie dogs. Prairie dogs are hilarious. I love shooting prairie dogs. If there was one thing that I could shoot all day long, it would be fucking prairie dogs. I love shooting prairie dogs. Prairie dogs are great because, you know, like.
That's like saying, you know what I wish I could do all day? Drop kick puppies.
But, dude, you don't understand. These are fucking rats, dude. They're rats. And they're cannibalistic rats. The best thing is now, first of all, these are some grumpy little fucking animals.
Mm-hmm. Vicious, and cannibalistic too.
They'll sit there and they come out of their little prairie dog holes, villages. So you've got to be like at least 200, usually 300 or 400 yards away from these fucking rats. So it's a challenging target anyway, because it's fucking rat. It's the size of this fucking pop bottle, and so it's a pretty challenging target anyway. So you have to shoot these things. So what I used to like to do is I like to turn their little brain into pink mist, because the best thing ever is these are the dumbest animals. Literally, you shoot the one, and his buddy's like, "Bob, you okay, Bob?
Yep.
Your head's gone, Bob. What the fuck?"
And then his head's gone. And then
his head's gone. But even better is while Bob's over there with his head gone and Tom is getting his head blown off, Roger and Wally are coming out to eat them. Yep. They're cannibalistic. It's fucking hilarious. It's great. It is so much fun to shoot prairie dogs. I can't even tell you. It is the best possible entertainment.
It's a lot of fun. It is.
And it's challenging. Look, these are rats. I mean, they're fucking rats. And headshotting a rat at like 400 yards it's
satisfying, man.
Yeah. The best thing is my buddy used to use just whatever ammo, but I used to make my own, special blend. And it was like a 45 grain or 55 grain ballistic tip, and they make the most satisfying thump when they hit one. It feels so good, and it's done, and it's great. I just love it.
I can give Glenn a degen answer to that question of his.
17 HMR is a lot of fun for target shooting prairie dogs.
Yeah. I mean, I would rather, matter of fact, I would rather shoot prairie dogs than shooting coyotes with night vision.
Yeah.
I mean, that is fun. Shooting coyotes through night vision is fucking hilarious, because you basically, because they kind of two-track it, that as they're going through there, they got one and you got one other one, so you shoot the one at the back and you try and just, gut shot that one, or actually, so when I'm trying to work a line, I'll try and head shoot them, and they just go down, and then you can get like 3 or 4 before they start getting wise, but they don't always run off. Sometimes they just kind of circle back to see what the fuck's going on, and you get 2 or 3 more. And it's great. I mean, it's great, and you're doing the world a service. The important part here is not only by shooting all these stupid ass prairie dog rat fucking things, not only am I destroying the diseases that they carry along with them, and all of the eventually their prairie dog towns fill up with the bones of crushed under my heel. But and the important thing here is that Terry Bison Ranch loves you for it when you do that, because they don't have animals dying.
Any farmers in the area will love you for it, because those little shits, when they get underneath a farm, they're bad. They're hard to get rid of.
Yeah, they carry all of the diseases, all of them. So. Yeah. And we all know why you don't want coyotes around.
Yeah.
I just used to love
Look, I don't know why coyotes are legally allowed access to dynamite, but somebody needs to be addressing that.
Well, it's not that he's allowed access. It's
that was addressing that, but I don't think he was paid enough because he didn't really ever kill the coyote.
Yeah. So the interesting thing is that the coyote's using a company credit card to buy that. So nobody knows it's him doing it. It's a different department.
Look, I would be more suspicious every time a coyote asked me if I could help them connect the wiring on their dynamite plunger, but for some reason it always blows up in their faces. I don't know why.
I actually really the other thing I like to shoot, which I don't get to shoot very much anymore, but we have so many of them in Tennessee now, are groundhogs. And I once shot a groundhog. All right, so I was on my friend's property in Woodbury, Tennessee, and we're just walking, and we were actually going to go shoot, and so we were all gunned up, and we were going to climb up in the barn and shoot. But as we're coming in the barn, we hear something, and it's this groundhog. He's just kind of moseying through the barn, and pulled the 9mm and shot this groundhog, and it went in the neck and went basically right down the spine and out the back. Killed this thing just dead like that. But didn't break a fucking bone. It was crazy. And that groundhog was great fucking eating. Like,
are they? We don't have a whole lot of groundhog issues down here. We got the smaller version called voles.
Yeah, they were. It was great because it's like it's a less gamey squirrel because all they really eat are insects. So there's not it's less gamey squirrel.
It's kind of like a lot of people think that you shouldn't eat javelina because they'll taste really, really gamey. But the fact is, javelina, if you pop them in the head the first shot and they never have the fear hormone running through their body, it doesn't devour the meat. And you can make really good ground beef out of it, or ground pork out of it.
Yeah, I think that's actually a big. I think that's a big deal because that's actually one of the things that I always try and do, even when I'm hunting deer, is I really want to drop that animal just DRT.
Yeah,
because that fear hormone, the adrenaline, when they run,
it sours the meat.
Well, I don't know, it sours it, but it does give it a heavier gamey taste. So I like to just like and look, I understand throughout history everybody said don't shoot deer in the face. I shoot deer in the fucking face. Like their skull's not that thick. I'm telling you right now, you put one in a brain pan, that thing's done.
So it's about close to 11. I figure you're going to cut it.
Yeah, I'm going to cut out, man. I'm going to go to bed. I'm fucking. This is the craziest thing ever. I don't normally talk about shooting animals in the face on my stream, but it's where we went tonight. So
it turned into a good chill stream, Grid. This was a lot of fun, man. It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everywhere deer are vermin. I don't understand why people think deer are like a noble fucking animal. They're vermin. They're literally fucking pest. They're food. They ruin. They do everything coyotes and pigs do. They ruin fences. They eat. They will clean out a vegetable garden. Clean that bitch out. There will be nothing left but deer shit.
Yep.
And
the only saving grace that deer have is that
they look cute.
Like to eat them. That's it.
And they look cute.
They would be another rodent. They would.
I will say that here in Tennessee, because we still have a lot of corn grown. You can get a deer that has basically had nothing but corn in its diet. And I think that's why a lot of people here around me anyway think that deer is just the best thing ever.
That could be. I've heard that if they have a heavy diet of corn, that does kind of produce better meat than random grain.
Well, and acorns. So I really want to, and I haven't thought about this in years, but I would really like to shoot another deer that basically, you know, is an acorn thicket deer. They just basically don't go anywhere but a thicket of oaks. Because supposedly that kind of pulls the gaminess down too. Smoking Spaceman, you're correct. It is Disney's fault for people's emotional response for deer.
Incidentally, I've seen the trailers for the Bambi horror movie, and it's basically like Deep Blue Sea, but a deer.
Yeah. So Grid, I've hunted deer in the northern Wisconsin woods. And it's thick and it's just, you know, basically random stuff like acorns or whatever, and it's good meat.
Yeah, see, I've heard that, and I've been trying to think back because I used to hunt a property, and that's literally all it was. It was oak, walnut, and it was basically just hardwood. There was like none, you know, they weren't eating pine cones, they weren't eating random grass and shit, and so I was like, I can't remember if it actually tasted better than, you know, the more, you know, than the deer that's eating all of the random grasses and stuff. I do remember that we had some deer that were basically lived full time in a persimmon patch or thicket, and that was, you know, that was kind of a different taste as well. But yeah, I mean, I understand. I've read all of the hunting tomes, and you can go back as far as like the mid 1970s, where, you know, people were talking about you shoot that quartering. You want the best shot you can get is a quartering shot. You want to shoot it in the heart. You want to penetrate both lungs, take out the shoulders, whatever. And I'm like, I don't want to. I don't make sculptures out of deer. I don't care about the antlers. I don't care about any of that. I put one right through the side of its fucking head.
Yep.
And you know, that's the end of it, man.
The best shot you can get evacuates the brain.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, like a heart shot. A heart shot's the best.
Well, a heart shot, the adrenaline everywhere, but
I've had them go through. I've had, and especially with arrows, because obviously, you know, I'm not shooting one in the face with an arrow, but I've had them with arrows. I've penetrated both lungs and the heart, and they still run 75 fucking yards.
Yeah.
It's just, they're just crazy animals.
Yeah.
So maybe not 75, maybe 50, whatever. I didn't fucking measure, but they ran far enough that I had to go look for the piece of garbage. But they tasted good. But who knows, man? Ladies and gentlemen, you have to go away now. I'm going to go to bed. I apologize. We did not have the bloody battle royale that I wanted. But unfortunately, I'm just not, you know.
This was just as fun, Grid.
I'm having performance issues. It's all Wally's fault. And so next week, guys, we'll do a better job. I do have a new format that's more of a bracket series, so that we're not worried so much about people paying for every round. The truth is, since I have you all here, the truth is, I only really care about getting enough money to pay the participants a decent amount for their participation. And I mean, I want to make a few dollars as well, but that's of lesser importance. And it really annoyed me this week that last week we really didn't have a lot in the till for Beth, and I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to figure out a way forward where I don't become a caricature of another stream, which I won't mention. And I'm not trying to be too altruistic here. It's just I feel like there's a couple of things that need to happen. I think maybe there needs to be a buy-in, right? Like, you know, if you got to pay to play. I feel like that's fair.
That sounds good.
and I feel like that there needs to be a bracket series, where it's still single elimination, but it makes you more. I would rather people pay to buy back in than pay to have 1v1s.
Well,
Yeah.
so one thing to consider, Grid, consistency plus time,
Sure.
it increases, participation,
Yeah,
right?
I understand. And look, there's a way to make this a better. There's a way to make this a better thing. I just haven't gotten there yet. I'm wheedling it out. Look, I'm trying. I'm talking to everybody. Anson, I meant to talk to you this week a little bit more about it, but yeah, it's been a hell of a week, man.
Yeah.
But there's got to be a way forward here where we're not. First of all, I really don't want one or two people carrying the stream. It's fine if they want to donate that much, great. I love it. More power to them. I certainly am not going to stop them. But I really want people to feel like, hey, I want to put $5 in. I want to put $10 in, right? So I just haven't gotten there yet without it being a cartoon show or whatever. And so I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
When you get your structure fleshed out, there will be more people seeing it and coming.
I think so. I think we're going to come up with a great product. And look, I'm not trying to. I'm really not trying to compete directly against VK. I will say that more than likely at some point in the future, we're going to end up having to move it to Friday night and we'll have to go head to head because unfortunately, Sunday's my day off, man, and I can't wreck myself. Also, it's a day I shoot matches and I can't get wrecked. And then, I can't be up till 4 a.m, running this show and then get up and go shoot effectively. Right. Like I can't run and gun like that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I mean, from what Speak has said in the past, he doesn't really care if anybody else wants to create a model much like his, as long as they're not, saying, "Oh, I came up with this all on my own." If they're following his model or anything like that, he doesn't really care. He says, "Hey, kudos to you. If you make something good, kudos to you." That's
and I think that's an adult way to look at it. I mean, and I don't want to be VK, right? Like,
right.
No,
everything is unique, and from what you started making here, it's more about like formatted debates, not so much like garage guys, which is kind of how I describe BK. It's like everybody gets together in the garage, the boys have a couple of beers, and we start chopping it up.
Yeah, and we'll figure it out. Anyway, guys, I gotta go to bed. I'm literally, my energy level is just like.
That reminds me, I got to keep tweaking the format. I've been tooling around for a while.
Yeah. And to be honest, guys, look, Wally, Anson, and a couple other guys, they've influenced me very heavily. They've been super helpful. And I can't thank all of you guys enough for helping me out with this because, I mean, what do I know? Ben, you did not win, and that's the only thing that matters. The only thing that matters is you lost.
Well, here's the thing. With the closest we got to a debate was me and Cleaner going a little bit about pencils versus pens. Anson said he agreed with me, so I won.
Yep, there you go. I was the judge.
I'm going to give you my actual argument.
Good night, Grid. I'm bouncing, man. See you later.
Run away now. Run away quick. Anson did say that, but he's biased. So
that's all right.
All right, gentlemen, have a great night. Ladies and gentlemen in the audience, I'm not sending you anywhere. You're adults. Go find a place to hang out.
I'll throw myself out.
Yeah, throw yourself out, Wally. Take the trash out while you're at it. And guys, it's been awesome. I've had a great time. Look forward to next week. It's gonna be awesome. We'll see you later. As always, be cool, man. Wear glasses if you need them, and get off my lawn.